is my stream gonna be my stream title gonna be so fucking funny that Umineko is just like, let's not work today, guys. Okay, there we go. That shit is so fucking funny. I got a Coca-Cola. I got some fucking water. I'm a little miffed because that whole fucking internet thing totally has me verklempt. So, anyways, that took 10 minutes to fix. But I think resetting my Wi-Fi extender worked. I usually don't have Wi-Fi problems too, which is really funny. I used to have there was like really early on into my Umineko streams, I was having an issue where my computer would like suddenly turn off. I figured out it was because I was using the wrong power cord for it. I was using one of my monitor ones, and for some reason my computer really hated that. So I'd like figure out all that like computer power shit. But now I have, so that's not happening anymore. Open up my Coca-Cola. We chill out. And we left off at a pretty pivotal point last night. It seemed almost apparent, and it was kind of weird. It seems like Lambda Delta is going to have like her own little self-insert character now. It's a little odd. I'm not sure what to make about it. Because I was under the impression that the baby that Natsui had lost had been Battler. Or maybe Jessica had been that baby. It's kind of tricky. But I was rereading two things I kind of always reread. I always reread the beginning of episode 3 and chapter 3 of episode 3. And I kind of wanted to talk about something to kind of like keep my thoughts about canon. Yeah, it does work. I had to fix shit. And I think it's really interesting considering Jessica and Canon's relationship. And kind of, if we remember in episode 3, we see Canon pretending to be her boyfriend. And I think that's super interesting. And then there was that line about Jessica going for younger guys. And if Jessica really is 19, then maybe that's like an allusion to that. So that's just kind of like, and I think it kind of, there's like this common motif we keep seeing of Canon having to like sacrifice himself somehow. And I think it kind of goes into that whole idea of Canon being furniture and kind of that whole outlook he had that compares to like Shannon's always seeing the blue, Canon's always seeing the gray. I almost feel like it's almost like Jessica's manipulating him. You could almost think. I need to reread some more Jessica Canon scenes to kind of work on it. But I mean, I like the idea because, as I said, it does tie into that whole thing where Canon, like, he's seeing gray. There's this motif where he's sacrificing himself. I almost wonder if he agreed to go along with Jessica's idea that they were, like, a thing. Because I said there was, at least, I believe, some degree of manipulation going on. Yeah, you're correct. There's a lot of pregame episode 2 stuff. And then there's all this. There's the scene when her and Canon are the two who are close. In episode 2, I believe. Yeah. And those are kind of like our main beefy canon Jessica scenes, along with just kind of the way Canon and Shannon talk about it. I feel like Canon is supposed to be a tragic character in that way, where because he sees himself as furniture, he like allows himself to go on with this ruse. The other connection you could make, kind of, if I wanted to argue for Shannon being Beatrice, I could mention her remembering things Battler said, but even then I reread that part in episode 3, chapter 3, which I think is super important for talking about what happened 6 years ago. Shannon remembering those things that he said, I think, is important. But there's also a conversation where Battler and Jessica are talking about like boys they like boys and girls they like, and it's, you almost wonder if you're reading that scene if Jessica does have a thing for Battler. Like I think I could read it that way. Exactly. Shannon and Jessica are close. You know, she's kind of giving him boy advice in a way with George and shit. So that's why that kind of works to me. And I kind of like how that changes Cannon's character to make him a lot more tragic. Like it just works for me. The other scene I reread, and I always remember this scene, is the prologue of episode 3. I was really bothered by the fact that they're referring to somebody as grandfather, likely Kinzo. And the fact that the person speaking, who isn't named, sees Beatrice, in this case Virgilia, as a teacher. Hi, Aliana. There just seems to be a lot there to kind of latch onto, because obviously Jessica and Kumasawa did like have a connection. Who couldn't argue that when she grew up on Rakunjima? But I think that's enough yapping for today. I did just want to get some of my thoughts that I had kind of been percolating through. Whoops. Oh my god. Off my head. Oh, how did sparring go? Do I think Jessica Beatrice has Shannon killed off for some reason? I think it's jealousy. Well, Aliana, let me put it this way. It is only through getting your ass kicked that you can learn. Only through great trial can one hope to attain knowledge. Was it someone's alarm clock? Beep, beep. Hell yeah. And now the next time you spar, you'll be fucking like twice as good. No judo. An electric tone repeatedly rang out through the room. Battler, who had gone to bed late and not managed to get enough sleep, covered his head in his blanket and waited for someone to turn off the alarm. But no matter how much time passed, the electronic tone didn't stop. I see. The point of an alarm clock isn't just to be loud enough to wake you, but to be annoying enough to keep you from wanting to fall back asleep. What I've started to do, just so I don't like stay in bed longer, is I take my phone, I set my alarm, and I just throw it across my room. So if I wake up, if I want to turn off my alarm, I physically have to get out of bed. As Mr. Executive Dysfunction, this really fucking works for me. Hey, the alarm's going off. Make it stop, please. Why do waking up voices always get this annoyed? Well, it does make sense. After all, people are still sleepy and in a bad mood. However, there was absolutely no sign that my annoyed voice had caused anyone to turn over in their sleep or crawl out of bed to stop the alarm. Letting out a deep sigh, I stumbled to my feet. With the shutters down on the windows, there was almost no light getting in, and the room was as dim as it had been earlier. Blackout curtains. That's a good system. I only have one alarm, and it fucking wakes me up every freaking time. But then my issue is, if I have my phone in bed, I'm just gonna lay there in bed and look at my phone for like 3 hours. So that's why I have to throw my phone across the room, because once I'm up, I'll start doing shit just fine. But it's about getting out of bed is like the big problem. Because I'm an insomniac too, and that just really like complicates things. And the room was as dim as it had been earlier, though even without the shutters. I agree. That's why I'm a morning showerer. There's no way this dull weather would let in enough sun to make this a pleasant morning. The cousins were still wrapped up in their beds, sound asleep and taking no notice whatsoever of that beeping. Normally, once one person gets up, but others tend to automatically follow. Annoyed that this law of serial summer camp awakenings that I'd made up had been broken, I searched for the source of the sound. I could hear it coming from a wristwatch set on a table. Judging by the style of the watch, it was probably George Oniki's. Anyway, when I randomly pushed a small button on the side of it, the sound stopped. Apparently, it had been set for 7 in the morning? 4 hours of sleep. Fuck that. Is it already 7 a.m.? Sorry, but I really don't feel like I slept at all. You didn't, Battler! Playing cards were left on the table as though they had stopped mid-game. The game had probably been 7s. Damn it, I got this piercing headache. What the hell happened last night? That mountain of gold and the subsequent argument between the relatives all feel like a bad dream. So stupid. Breakfast normally came at 8 o'clock. Now wasn't a bad time to start getting up and getting dressed. Even those adults probably won't argue in front of the cousins. In that case, I'll stay with my cousins all day long. I'm sure they'll be able to separate me from all this annoying talk about the gold and being the successor and all. In fact, I should have done this from the beginning. I felt disgusting, having slept with my clothes on last night, which caused me to get all sweaty. Ew, that's awful. I guess I'll take a shower. I'm pretty sure the others want to as well. Get that bread, Battler. Get that nut. Fucking jump in that shower, my king. Fucking enjoy that shit before no one else can. At this age, it's embarrassing to wake them by shaking their shoulders. That's not embarrassing. If I turn the TV on, everyone will probably wake up. That shit ain't waking me up. Alarm clock? Yes. TV? No. Well, let's at least turn on the lights for now. In this dim light, with the quiet sound of the never-ending wind and rain, it really doesn't feel like morning has come yet. I flipped the light switch. They're all dead. And then the dimly lit morning ended. Oh god! What the fuck? Was I right? George! George! What the fuck? What the fuck? George kind of looks like a fuckboy here, I'm not gonna lie. I don't care really all that much about George. This is just too horrible. How could anyone get away with something like this? Wait. Oh. That was... Hideyoshi. This is just too horrible. How could anyone get away with something like this? As they clung to Anaki's corpse, which would never wake up again, Aunt Ava and Uncle Hideyoshi cried. That's so fucked up. George throat slit 3 a.m. challenge. That's enough. That's enough. Do you think George Kun would like the two of you to see him this way?
Of course not. Aniki, I know how you feel, but let's have Dr. Nanjo handle this.
Yeah, good thing fucking Goda was in the fucking guest house, so this shit's really easy to solve. You don't understand. George was killed, and so was Jessica, for that matter. They haven't even mentioned Jessica yet, or Maria, which is really fucking with me. George! George! Ah!
Dr. Nanjo's right. We mustn't keep staring at George in such a state. This is for George's sake. We have to restrain ourselves for now.
When Aunt Ava tried even harder to cling to that, give her a fucking moment. A mother has just lost her child, man. Whoops, I just clicked out. Shit. Whoops, that's not good either. Dad and Uncle Hideyoshi dragged her away and had a heated debate with her beside the wall. Are you fucking kidding me? No. No, George! Dr. Nanjo, help him! He's dead, motherfucker! George Epstein is dead. George Ushiramiya was an inside job. If he's lost too much blood, do a blood transfusion. George and I are the same blood type. I beg you. Dr. Nanjo. Ava-san. It pains me to say it, but this pedophile's dead. But your blood can't do George-kun any good now. Dr. Nanjo shook his head slightly, then nodded across to where I stood, giving me a signal. I softly pulled the blanket up, covering George Anaki's corpse. Well, guess they're not sleeping in there tonight. Ha. His neck was split wide open. It was probably larger and deeper than his mouth. What? Okay. Would covering that part up make the corpse look neat and clean? Of course not. The large amount of lost blood stained the bed a horrible red and black. And even covering him with the blanket couldn't hide the traces. After all, even the blanket had large red-black stains, and covering him with it made his corpse look even more gruesome. So I stripped the blanket off my bed and placed it on top of the first one. But there was only 2 extra blankets. Fuck it, who gives a shit? You guys are rich. So if we covered one more... Oh. So if we... Jessica's dead too. So if we covered one more of the corpses, we wouldn't be able to cover anymore. I feel bad about the ones we can't cover, but for some reason, times like these make me feel like muttering, "Don't complain about it being unfair," inside my head. Who else is dead?
Kairi, put blankets over all of them. We don't want them to catch cold.
Sure. Kairi-san and I started covering the other corpses up to their heads with their blankets, just like George Anaki's, so that they wouldn't have to undergo any more shame with their terrible wounds exposed like this. In one bed rested Jessica, rest in peace, girly pop. Unless you are Beatrice, in which case, fuck you. Jessica was exactly the same as George Anaki, though she appeared to be resting quietly in the bed. Her neck had been sliced deep and the wound lay open in a brutal way. Maria was the same. And not only Maria, there was one more victim. lying on the same bed as though they'd been sleeping alongside each other, was Aunt Rosa. Well, I'm glad she's dead. George Aniki, Jessica, Maria, and Aunt Rosa. Anyone could easily confirm this with absolute certainty. Natsui is a Beatrice candidate. Jessica is a Beatrice candidate. Shannon is a Beatrice candidate. But mostly I want to suspect her. And I don't know how I'm going to find a way to make this work, but I'll find it, goddammit. I mean, they're not going to say in the red she's dead, right? And even then, I could be like, that's not really Jessica. That's fucking Beatrice, dog. The real Jessica is actually dead. In this room where 4 humans had been killed, their necks sliced open. They'd probably been like that since last night. I'd returned without noticing anything, gotten in bed and fallen asleep. All of them had a horizontal cut across their throats. I had been forced to see all the way into the depths of those gashes in everyone's throat. Plus, presuming we're not trusting Dr. Nanjo... Wait, no, then the wolf sheep puzzle doesn't work. Once your theory is correct, you will know. Okay. The tricky thing is you have to have more than one theory. But I think I like my case for Jessica. I like what it does to the story about her in canon. I'm just glad that I have a theory for once. At worst, the wounds might have been deep enough to stretch halfway through their necks. If you tried to open it up, you'd probably be able to see that the gash reached all the way to the bone. The only wounds were the single gashes on each neck. So if you covered their necks with your hand, you might be able to persuade yourself that they were merely sleeping. But even so, this frighteningly deep wound was incredibly gruesome. There's no such way as a clean or dirty way of killing. All methods of killing are equally brutal. But even so, the brutality here... I don't think the means for killing people are all morally equal, or like clean or dirty. I think it's still killing somebody, but I would definitely prefer being like injected with like lethal shit than like getting brained. I don't know. That's just the me thing, though. And there was one more thing that adorned these brutal murders, making them even more unsettling. The one that gets power. Drawn very large on the wall was something like an eerie magic circle, the circle of the sun. It was drawn in bright red paint that looked like blood. It made it look as though some creepy ceremony had taken place in this room, with the 4 of them offered as human sacrifices. However, that wasn't what we were concerned about. What the fuck? You're fucking breaking my mojo! They think I care about that shit? I have done whole ass live streams where not one fucking person watched. I don't fucking care. I'm in it for love of the game, baby. I say that every time. No one has a heart so cold that they could witness the deaths of those close to them. And still worry about some scribbles on the wall. That is pretty good. That kind of reads like an old Xbox Live username. Get the fuck out of here, Erica. I don't want to hear your shit. I know it's you. I fucking knew it was her, dumbass. She doesn't even fucking give a shit. This is why I fucking hate her. She's so fucking weird. She's so creepy. She gives me the ick. You know what she reminds me of? That girl, that like little person girl who like, what's her name? Natalia Grace. This is like, I get Natalia Grace. Why is that? I don't even fucking understand. Pervert? Pervert is a fucking auto mod word? I'm freaking the fuck out. Anyways, this girl gives me the total fucking ick. I don't want her on this island. I want her ass off the island. You're just testing that, Eric. Fuck you. What the fuck? Okay, so look at it the bright way. Every time you type one of those, and I allow it, it permanently allows it to be in chat. So you could say it again now and it'd be fine. It asked you if you wanted to send it first? I don't fucking get it. It's not even like thinking about like, oh, you're not calling me a pervert. Wait. Maybe, you know what? I actually might fucking turn off auto mod. This might be my last auto mod stream. It never does anything I want it to do. Because I don't give a fuck about foul language in my chat. I just want people being assholes. I'll try turning it down. I do know it has like sensitivity settings. But I don't know. I think I had it on regular. Anyways. Good morning, everyone. Oh, what a wonderful magic circle. The girl who bragged that she drew more pleasure from the process of exposing the truth than the truth itself. Yeah, I just don't want slurs. Like, I don't want racial slurs in my chat. Of course they are. I would like call myself like a Reddit bisexual, so I would really fuck with that. That's like an actual identity now, by the way. I'm claiming it. Like in that way where I'd never actually want to. So yeah, that's my shit. Okay, the girl who bragged she blah blah blah. I already read that. And found who went so far as to call herself an intellectual rapist appeared in the hall. When she saw the extraordinarily creepy magic circle in this gruesome room, I heard what was unmistakably a sigh of admiration escape her lips. Don't come in here. I just heard about it in the corridor. It's 4 people who've passed away, correct? Why 4? That's so weird. Is everybody else accounted for? Well, besides Kinzo. Allow me to express my sincere regrets. On Erica's face... No, that's not it. A self-insert character is actually a very cool concept at this point. It was in her eyes. Also, she has the roses, too. Exactly. It's giving, Ebony Darkness Dementia Raven Way. In Erica's eyes, I could see an indiscreet smile. I'll also put my middle finger up. Fuck you, weirdo. She found this interesting. She found the outbreak of a crime interesting. It was like the smile of a kid off to the side of a stage just before her turn to appear in a school play.
Sorry, Erica-chan. We're busy at the moment. Could you wait in your room?
Well, we can't have that. It's the detective's right to investigate the scene. We're saying that we have no business with you. What the fuck? Why do you care? Now's the time for outsiders like you to stand back. In my personal opinion, only third-rate mysteries have a suspect who tries to interfere. Why is she Benoit Blanc from Knives Out now? What the fuck? Only third-rate mysteries have a suspect who tries to interfere with the investigation and then turns out to be the culprit. Who gives a damn about what you want? Get out! You aren't wanted here!
Erica-chan, I'm really sorry, but could you go back to your room? We're busy right now.
George! George! Stand back. Can't investigate the scene like this. Oh, is she gonna try to prove that Battler did it? I wonder. What's her angle gonna be? And I wonder if we get to see her, like, interact with Lambda. If it's necessary, we'll do it ourselves. The police will do it. Like hell, you have the right to bring some more shame to everyone's remains that they've already endured. Okay. Detective's authority. Checkmate! The detective has the right to inspect all crime scenes. Well, that's a new rule. Stand back, Ushirimiya Battler. This is an official privilege of this game, which the human side has accepted. Those words, which seemed to be utterly ridiculous at first, were words of power that came from a world on a much higher plane than the ones they were in. Battler was thrown back by an unseen power and landed on his butt. Struck silent by this quiet intensity, nobody was able to prevent Erica from entering the room, suffocated by this bizarre atmosphere. Don't worry. My goal is not to profane the dignity of the deceased. It's not like I want to peek into something as disgusting as a slit through someone's neck. I want to know something completely different. In other words, who committed these murders? I asked Dr. Nanjo, and everyone else too. In particular, the first one to discover them, Battler-san. There are many things I want to question you about, so I request your cooperation. Like I said, by what authority are you doing this? Because I am the detective. That was so cool. That was sick as fuck. Battler couldn't argue against this incomprehensible nonsense. No, he wasn't permitted to argue. It was a restriction placed on pieces. Erica summoned Dr. Nanjo and heard the details of his preliminary examination of the corpses. Normally, he wouldn't have spoken that to an outsider so casually. However, for some reason, the atmosphere about the place had become one in which hiding things from Erica was forbidden. Okay, let's enjoy this first Twilight of Lambdas. 4 corpses? That's 2 corpses short. What did you tell me to write down earlier? The last thing I have in my notes was, like a lot of my Beatrice shit. Mayato's goal is not to make Battler feel safe. Bird is speaking through Battler for most of this episode. Burn and land the game equals throwing shit into the fan is the first thing I wrote. That's so correct. What if the secret vault? The introduction of Furuto Erika does not change anything that happened from episodes 1 to 4. Why are they telling her all this shit about the epitaph and the gold? That was an important note. Yeah, oh yeah, I have it. So why are they telling her all this is like a big question. Detective's right. Okay. Well, she doesn't necessarily need to have 6 people killed, but that's how we've been playing. That girl isn't completely clueless. So she must have killed 2 more people somewhere. Goda and Kumasawa. They're the only ones I don't think we've seen. Well, we haven't seen Genji yet either, but I think Genji's probably fine. On the wall was a magic circle representing the first Twilight, similar to the ones in Beato's game. That girl talks tough, but I wonder just how closely she'll be able to imitate Beato. That Hebrew sure is crappy. It isn't written exactly right. What the heck? What's going on? Why is there a magic circle? I haven't seen these 2 in a while. Well, at least 7. I bet they wanted to copy Beatrice-sama. What a crappy magic circle. Oh my god. This isn't just a copycat. Some human went out of their way to draw that so they can make it look like Beatrice-sama did this. Anyway, let's report to Beatrice-sama about this. Even though we're already up to our eyeballs just protecting Goldsmith's secret, what a pain. But these murders have no beauty to them at all. Also, we have to consider the idea of the Lambda piece, which we don't know, I guess, what the extent of that is. Because that was kind of like the fake out, was who was knocking on the door last night. That was never answered. I'm not over that. I'm putting that in my notes, actually. Shit. For the end of the first night, someone was hurt. Fortune's parlor. However, we are not shown who this is. Who is this person? And why is their identity being kept hidden from us? Good note. It isn't really a closed room, and there's nothing impossible about it. Such pitiful murders aren't worthy of Beatrice-sama at all. Furuto Erika. An unexpected crime and an unexpected woman. Phaeton, you aren't reading the red truth. And the unexpected man from 19 years ago. How do we know it's a man? And if you add in the fact that Battler's already solved the epitaph, this game is completely different from normal. What the heck's going on? Let's go. Yes, One-sama. Whom, whom, whum. Oh, Goda is alive. Goda does not deserve this song. Fuck you, Goda. I hate you, Goda. Go eat rocks, you fucking asshole. Fucking dick. Arrogant fucking prick. Jag off. In the kitchen, Goda was preparing a wonderful breakfast at a brisk place. Goda's just doing cooking mama things and everyone is dead. What is that quote from the Cooking Mama game? Oh shit. My sisters used to play it all the time. Even better than Mama. That's fucking Goda's ass right now. The main dish would be herb omelets. Even simple foods could become invigorating feasts under Goda's skillful hands. He would pre-cook everything beforehand to prepare the food in the dining hall right before everyone's eyes. Goda hummed as he continued his work in high spirits with a knife. When Shannon, who was helping out, saw Goda like this, her mood also brightened. Only Goda would be good enough with a knife. Goda Treese is back on the table, bitches. She arranged the salad in a neat little pattern and showed it to Goda. How is this? I think it makes the tomatoes look a bit cute. I feel like this could be read as an analogy for preparing the bodies. Very nice. You really know what you're doing, Shannon-san. The two happy people gave each other a high five? This scene is fucking goofy. Shannon didn't like when Goda was sneaky, but she had no problems at all with him when he was cooking happily. Lambda Delta definitely thinks this shit is funny as fuck. She sometimes even thought it'd be nice if his contract hadn't included any jobs besides cooking. If that hadn't been the case, he wouldn't have to get in a bad mood doing unnecessary jobs. The dining hall is ready. You can carry it in when... Wait. You can carry it in whenever you want. We're almost good to go, so please get the serving cart. Without even thinking, even Kumasawa caught Goda's high spirits. The kitchen had a very nice smell and atmosphere about it, truly refreshing for so early in the morning. Oh god. Grumpy ass Cannon. Sad that he's been forced to date Beatrice as a ruse. Possibly. Asterisk. Cannon and Genji were in charge of getting many things ready for the morning, such as opening the curtains. However, Cannon was alone today, so it had taken much longer than usual. Uh-oh, where's Goda? And Kraus is dead, too. Kraus is dead, and I think Genji's dead, too, yeah. I think those are the rest of the two deaths. I'm done. Where's Genji-sama? He still isn't here. That's odd. I can't imagine he'd sleep in. I guess even Genji-san sleeps in sometimes. That's rather careless of him, considering that this is the middle of a family conference. Cannon-san, could you wake him for us? So if what we were told in red text, because we know, I think there's only 6 people that die here. I'm pretty sure of that. Or at least we're shown 6 people die. I don't remember exactly what it was when I was looking at it. But now that we know it's not necessarily it's not about the murder. The murder is just like a thing to show Battler something. And as I said before, I almost want to believe that Beatrice creates these mysteries because it's fun to talk about them with Battler. Like, it is a game to her. And not necessarily, like, you can still create that same tension without necessarily creating murders. And I think what's going to happen is a lot of the blame, well, obviously, I know what's going to happen is a lot of the blame in this episode is going to go to Natsui. And I almost want to believe, after what I theorized and how they were setting it up, it's too obvious. I think it's a red herring. As soon as I saw that Natsu was like the opening scene of episode 5, that's when I became skeptical that maybe I need to reconsider things. Because now that we know about the knowledge of Kinzo's death being concealed, of course the blame is going to shift over to Natsui and Kraus. But just because they were willing to hide the fact that that Kinzo was dead doesn't necessarily mean they would commit murder. And if anything, you could really argue, I don't think Kraus and Natsui would be interested in creating a crazy murder spectacular event on their island. Because look at what happened to Ava when she was the only one that came out of that alive. I mean, she was ridiculed. She was ostracized from society. I mean, I don't think that's what Kraus and Natsui want. Because they would know that if they had pulled something like that on Rokkenjima, of course they're going to be suspected. And that wouldn't be good for Kraus making money. I don't think this is Kraus or Natsui based off that. I don't think the motive is there. There's definitely a desire to conceal the nature of Kinzo's mortality, but drawing any more unnecessary attention negatively towards their family's reputation after Kraus has signed away his power of attorney, well, then you could argue the whole thing about Kraus being dead. Because if Kraus is dead, that changes everything too, because obviously Kraus was the only one who, like, killing Kraus would skip that whole idea of the power of attorney. But even then, if even Natsui was the only one still alive in the island, I don't think she would necessarily do that. I don't think Ava did it either. I don't think it's what Ava wanted. I don't think Ava at all enjoyed being ridiculed by society with her son dead and all that shit, whether she killed Battler or not. It's not said in red that she kills Battler, I think. So I can take that scene however the fuck I want, quite frankly. Anyways, big pause. Sorry, folks. I just had to get all that shit off my fucking chest. I wonder what Genji-san's face looks like when he's half asleep. Oh, let me go with you. Even though Goda asked her to get the serving cart ready, Kumasawa plodded off after Cannon, slyly skipping work. I love Kumasawa, though. I love her, like, uncle from Red Dead Redemption 2, lumbago-ass laziness. She's so uncle from Red Dead 1 and 2 coded. As Cannon muttered about how Goda was the one who slept in all the time, he headed for the servant waiting room. So you didn't wake him up this morning, Cannon-san? Last night I fell asleep while in the servant room, so I didn't return to the waiting room. Last night, Cannon had dozed off in the middle of his late night shift, falling asleep in the servant room. Shannon had been kind enough to put a blanket on him. Aww. I love Shannon. She's so sweet. I hope she's not covering up for the murder. But that had just made it so warm that he fell into an even deeper sleep. So he hadn't returned to his bed in the servant waiting room the previous night. Because of that, he hadn't met Genji even once this morning. There was a knock on the door. Genji-sama, it's Canon. Good morning. Oh my, I wonder if he's still sleeping. Pardon me. Closed room time. Canon noticed something strange on the upper part of it. What's that? Oh! Packing tape. Motherfucker. Is this the same room from episode 2 that was explicitly said not to have any hidden, like, passages and shit in it? Let me check my notes. Because I was very interested in that room. Like, the room that they, that, like, Red Eye Cannon freaking attacks them in. Oh, it's kind of hard to say that because they refer to it as this room. Almost as though it was sealing the door shut. Furthermore, there was notches made with scissors along the center of the packing tape, so that if you open the door only a slight amount, it would be torn apart. Also, written sloppily across the packing tape with a thin pen was what appeared to be someone's signature. It was written in a very intricate and decorative manner. So even if it was a signature, there was no way of telling whose it was. What do you mean? Let me look at it, fucker. It's probably some sort of prank. I don't get it. It's no use to worry about it now. Genji-sama, pardon me. The packing tape tore apart and he opened the door. It wasn't as though anything had happened when it split, so the two quickly forgot about the strange tape. Eek! There's gonna be an eek coming. Kumasawa has a big eek on the way. I can smell it in the water like a shark in blood. The room was dimly lit. The lower bed of the 2-level bunk bed still had a lump under the blanket. Apparently Genji was still sleeping. Good morning, Genji-sama. This isn't like you. It's morning. Genji-sama. I love that. Eek! What is this? What is this? I was right. She did have a fucking eek coming. But fuck Kumasawa, because Kumasawa is constantly referred to as a fucking liar, a good actress, and a good actress. So I really don't believe any reaction she has to fucking anything. I think she's a bad bitch, deep down inside. And I think she just pretends to be a kind old lady when she's a bad, conniving motherfucker. There was a large red-black stain on the blanket. Even the servants' blankets were always kept clean. A stain like that definitely shouldn't have been there. Cannon hesitantly peeled back Genji's blanket and saw what was left of him and was shocked into silence. The teeth picture. I love the teeth picture. What is this pose? She looks like Marilyn Monroe. What the heck? His neck's been cut open. Duh. It's thin. You wouldn't be able to leave a cut this deep without a fairly long blade. What's going on? or solve the riddle of the epitaph, right? Why are there murders happening? I don't know. In any event, this isn't good. We should report this to Beatrice-sama and Natsui-sama. Belfa, hurry and report to Lucine! Understood. Wow. After dashing out, Kumasawa called Goda and Shannon over. Eek! Then this new pair let out screams identical to the first two. No! Don't stop making breakfast, Goda! Is now really the time to be saying that? There's no chance they'll have a quiet and peaceful breakfast on the second day. I have a bad feeling about this. Genji might not be the only one. Let's check the entire mansion. Something else might have happened. Yes, One-sama. Wow. Wow. Natsui sprang awake at the sudden sound of the phone, and she was told not to leave. But she was also told not to answer the phone, right? Oh! And that's why we're gonna suspect Natsui. Because Natsui doesn't have a clear alibi. And she's gonna ignore the phone. So that's gonna make her seem more suspicious to these people. Or maybe the person calling is gonna make her somehow look like incriminating herself to the rest of them. Natsui sprang awake at the sudden sound of the phone. Even Natsui was surprised that she'd woken up. She thought she'd spent the whole night unable to sleep out of fear that the mysterious man might come in at any moment. Oh, I have to take my meds. That would probably be good if I took those. Sorry, we're gonna hear the phone ring for a while longer. Just get my meds. I'm keeping them at my desk right now. I don't forget to take them if they're on my desk. Okay. But she dozed off before she knew it. Of course, Natsui still didn't feel rested at all. Though she groaned from the dull pain in her head, which hadn't gone away once since last night, she managed to get out of bed. Morning, Natsui-sama. Morning. What a horrible morning it is. Don't worry. No one tried to enter this room. I see. Thanks for keeping watch all night. Even so, that didn't mean she'd been able to sleep peacefully. The continued ringing of the phone made her headache throb even more strongly. I think you probably should answer the phone. I love reading the words and jumbling them up. I swear I read sentences from fucking right to left before I read them left to right. And then I've got some bad news to report from my sisters. Let's leave the bad news for later. I'll answer the phone first. Did he just say not to answer the phone at night? I can't forget it was night or it's like into the morning. Natsui shook her head to wake herself and picked up the receiver. Then she regretted not listening to Lucifer's bad news first, because she wanted the first thing she heard on this horrible morning to be something better than this. Morning, Mother. Morning, Mother. Did you sleep well? That voice told her that this horrible morning, this nightmare, would not stop. Oh, fucking fishy aroma. Throwing my ass back to fishy aroma. This shit's so fucking good. I kept my promise. I've been holed up in this room the whole time. Of course, I haven't been on the phone either. But you did just pick up the phone now.
did you not?
Well, just kidding. This is just a morning call I'm giving my beloved mother. Morning, mother. How far do you intend to mock me? Natsui gripped the receiver so hard it creaked. I wanted you to leave your seat so that I can set up for the party. Thanks to that, everything is ready now. Of course, you are the main guest, mother. What are you planning to do? That is for you to look forward to. Do not worry, I will not keep you waiting. It has already begun. Oh, right. Wait a sec. There is someone I want you to hear. Huh? I want it to be like that. There was a sound of the receiver being jolted around. The phone was apparently being passed to someone else, but there was a clunking, clattering noise, as though it was taking a lot of effort to hand the receiver over. Who in the world would he be giving the phone to? No matter who this man gives the phone to, that can't be good news for me. It's gonna be Kraus, I fucking guarantee it. Untie me, coward. Huh? Dia, is that you? Untie it! Untie it! It was, without a doubt, the voice of her husband. However, he didn't respond to Natsui's voice. Perhaps this is all recording again. Perhaps he was bound somewhere in the darkness. Kraus, not realizing that Natsui was on the other end of the phone, repeatedly demanded that he be untied. Your husband is here. His eyes and ears are covered, so you won't be able to talk. Constantly with the theme of repressing the senses. But I think you can tell that he is in perfect health. What are you after? Let my husband go! I will let him go tomorrow. If you keep 2 promises, that is. What are they? One is that you keep it a secret that I have your husband in my care. There will probably be a fuss when they are unable to find Kraus anywhere in the mansion. But you know nothing, so you will say nothing. Understand? I understand. What's your other condition? Oh, just a little game. At 1 o'clock today, you will go into the foremost guest room on the 1st floor, the mansion, and hide in the closet. Oh, that's how they get us to suspect Natsui. Or even not suspect Natsui in a roundabout way. A guest room? Why should I go into a closet? Just a little hide and seek. If you can hide there for an hour without anyone finding you, you win. If someone does find you, you lose. And if I lose, what happens? Nothing in particular. Is that not what playing is all about? If you play along with this hide and seek, I will release your husband tomorrow. Will you really? Keep your promise, I wonder. Of course. Make sure you do too, Mother. If you break our promise, I will know right away. At that time, there was suddenly a loud knock on the door to Natsui's room. Her heart leapt automatically. Madam, are you there? Good morning. It's Goda and Cannon. Madam, please wake up. The voices coming from across the door were Cannon and Goda's. The knock had been wild, and the voices a little shrill. It had been something strange. It seemed that something strange had happened, and that they were agitated. What is it? Did something happen? Oh wait, that was just like nobody in particular. It's nothing. It looks like the servants have arrived. Oh wait, he's on the phone still. She's on the phone still. Okay. I'm hanging up. Sure. I've said everything I wanted to. So do not break our promise. Love you, mommy. I understand. Don't you break our promise either. You have it wrong. That is for you to decide, mother. Lambda Delta, baby. Do not make me break my promise. Mother. I will be watching you all day today, mother. Yes, I'm so happy I get a whole ass fucking Lambda chapter. Thank you. Thank you, game. I'm so fucking happy. Lambda Delta slammed the receiver down on the antique phone. Then, the phone exploded into bits and became a golden splash, then a cloud of gold butterflies, and then disappeared. Dance for me, Natsui. Dance, you little monkey. Dancing fears of your sin 19 years ago. My turn's going pretty well. Okay, your turn now, bud. That was a very happy Lambda Delta. I'm sure this is a waste of time, but let me confirm whether... Oh my god, I'm so happy we do get a fucking Lambda versus Burn moment. But it's so interesting, because I think it's kind of like they're opposite... They're arguing from the contrapositive, I think is the phrase I'm looking for. Where... Lambda Delta, who's about certainty, you would think is about like logical, empirical fact, is the one who's trying on the side of the witch, and you have Burn Castle, who's all about like miracles and like what you would expect to be like the marvelous and supra mundane. Like it's Burn Castle who's doing the shit that's arguing from the shit just being regular, good old fashioned normal shit. I think that's super interesting. It's been like that ever since they Baron was introduced, really, so I think that's even cooler. I'm sure this is a waste of time, but once you tell me why... Oh my god. Oh, that is freaky. Let me confirm whether the corresponds... I'm sure this is a waste of time, but let me confirm whether correspondence with the outside world, including reporting this to the police, is possible or not. It's impossible to make use of the external line. Looks like you can use the internal line. It's impossible to use a boat inside the Typhoon. I guess the closed circle's complete now. Congrats! You're a full detective now, Bun. I love calling her Bun. Bernie Sanders from New York.
I'm Senator Bernie Sanders.
Oh my god. What the fuck? When the police intervene, they sometimes steal some of the detective's authority. However, with the construction of the closed circle, the existence of police have been denied for all eternity. That feels like an Ouroboros allegory. From now on, the authority of the detective piece will be totally guaranteed. I wonder what the ramifications of that going forward are for the rest of the game. I wonder if that's something that's going to hold true, or that we're going to be convinced holds true. Yeah, thanks a bunch. And I guess it's time to get this game started. Erica, you're the main character. Now begin.
Even Genji-san. 5 people killed.
Yes, and it was so horrible. It was exactly the same as the 4 in the guest house. The neck was sliced open with a terribly sharp blade. I think that even though I had the midnight shift, I didn't notice anyone suspicious. They were killed in their sleep. And you kind of fell asleep early. The question for me right now, like in like the very short-term future, is whether or not they were dead before Battler had even come into the room to fall asleep. Like, is there a chance even that I don't want to check the last chapter because I'm not that worried about it one way or the other. I don't really think it changes my perspective, but it is a little detail I think is interesting. Whether or not when Ballard entered the room for the first time at around 3 a.m. they were already dead. Because the way it was kind of put out, it sounded like he was too tired to fall asleep. He was so tired he would not have noticed something like that. I'm going to put that in my notes. Exactly. Like, that clock is so fucking important. Okay, so the first thing I wrote down is, would Natsui really want to have all the blame of the Rokenjima incident to bring shame to her family? And second of all, when Battler entered the cousins' room at 3 a.m., were they already dead? When he fell asleep and simply didn't notice due to his lethargy. Battler wakes up at 7 sharp. I didn't notice anyone suspicious. It seems very likely to me that the person that knocked on the door the night prior was the one who killed everyone. Except we're not really given like we're not really told anything about like what the knock sounded like, I think, other than it was a knock that was different from what the servants would typically use. I'm gonna put that in my notes too. I'm putting that in blue. It doesn't mean necessarily that the person that did it wasn't a servant. Oh, okay, it's Lambda speed. Okay, thank you. I think that was something that was confusing me. I just assumed because he's Burn's piece, that Burn was speaking through him. So thank you for the correction there. Yeah, I had Burn in there. So let me switch that to Lambda. Thank you for the correction. Because that was something I totally misunderstood. Don't blame yourself. If you bump into the culprit, you might be the one dead right now. On top of that, the phones aren't even connecting. I doubt any boats will come in this weather. This is serious. It makes it very likely the culprit's still nearby. Fuck yeah, Kyrie, stand on fucking business. Baddest bitch of all time, Kyrie Ushiramiya. Eek! Then what? Does that mean we'll be trapped here with a murderer until the typhoon passes and the boat comes? Yeah, Kumasawa, and you might be a murderer. It'll be okay. If we stay all together like this, even the culprit will be able to lay a finger on us. Even Jessica. I can't believe it. Perpetually locked in. We won't let ourselves be killed. I'll avenge George. I won't let them get away. No matter who the culprit is or what their reason was, I won't let the one who killed George get away. I'll kill them. I'll kill them. Oh my god, she's such a fucking asshole. Okay, everyone. Are you done crying yet? Silence, please. Has anyone seen Kraus-san yet? We've been calling him for a while, but he hasn't answered. Could the receiver be off the hook? No, we could hear it ringing. There's no way he didn't hear it. Put her in a fucking blender. Just fucking pulp her. Turn her into fucking pulp. Put her in a fucking wood chipper. Oh my god, it's so fucked up. I hate her. She's so creepy. What does it mean? I don't think Uncle Kraus, too. Figures. There's no proof Kraus is dead or alive right now. It's fucking Schrodinger's Kraus. And if you really want to be a total fucking crackhead about it, you could even argue that fucking... we don't even know if they found the gold. Because everything in that's not in red isn't necessarily true. We do know the gold is real and exists, though. Did they say explicitly that finding the gold was a canon event this episode? Oh, Erica is the detective and the detective saw it. You're right. What's interesting about that is that makes Battler seeing Kinzo make sense. Whenever they were looking for the location to the VIP room. Like, that's how you can justify that happening. I don't think if Battler was the detective this episode, like hypothetically speaking, because we don't actually know what would have happened if Battler was the detective, but I don't think he would have seen Kinzo. Figures. I hate to say it at a time like this, but there was 4 in the guest house, Genji to make 5. I figured there would be one more. Thank you. Why? How could you know that? Are you the culprit? Did you kill George? What the fuck is she on? Stop it, Ava-san. Now is not the time. Ava got agitated and grabbed at Kairi. Oh my fucking god. Nanjo stepped in between them and it grew into a bit of a scuffle. Watching this, Erica smiled condescendingly and shrugged. Ew, she's gonna make that gross-ass face. Ew. Of course. It's natural to guess there were 6 victims after seeing the crime scene in the guest house. There were only 4 corpses, so it would make you wonder who the other 2 were. How could you know such a thing? You killed them! You killed George! Quit it, Ava! Erika-chan, Kairi-san, how can you know that? Can't you think before you talk? It's a simple connection to make. I haven't even seen her disgusting face. Oh no. I'll know it when I see it though. The scribble drawn at the scene of the crime in the guest house was a magic circle. I just tried to think of things connected to both magic and murders.
Ah, so it's the epitaph, huh?
I see. It's the first Twilight. Huh? What's going on? What the fuck? That is such crap from fucking Goda and Kumasawa, because they definitely know about the first fucking Twilight. What the fuck are these two talking about? Remember back in episode 1 when all these fucking servants are dead set on the idea that Beatrice exists? That first conversation when we're getting background on the Beatrice from all the servants talking to Battler. They all fucking believe this shit. And they've all studied the fucking epitaph. We know Kumasawa has studied the fucking epitaph. So what the fuck are these two on about, pretending they don't have a clue what they're talking about? No. Not necessarily. They are definitely somebody who's willing to take a risk on believing they can convince people it does. I think them convincing people that magic exists is their MO. Good! I'm putting that in my notes. Well, I don't have a clue either. Is that how it is? Damn witch. So this is really Beatrice Sama's doing? Yeah, and here comes the idea of Beatrice. And this is the really important part. Actually, it's interesting that Canon brought it up. And me talking about Canon being an accomplice, at least to some degree. Even, I think he's an unwilling accomplice, but I think he's still an accomplice. And, like, he's the one who brings up the idea of Beatrice here. Why do you all keep talking as if you know something? No fucking shit, Ava! No fucking shit! But I'm fucking on. I don't have a clue. Someone explain. I told you, Ava, calm down a bit. That's how it is. Ever since I saw the magic circle at that crime scene. I fear Erika-Kairi interaction might be really cool, though. which would mean there are 6 victims. I don't believe Kraus is alive, actually. Well, I do know he's dead because we see him dead. But what I'm saying by that, we see his like icon red in the beginning of this episode whenever they force it up and we have to look at it. But I'm not convinced that Kraus is even alive by the time that phone call happens. Because they said that shit about, oh, he can't hear, he can't see. He could have just recorded Kraus's voice and then killed him. Or by him, I mean likely Beatrice. Exactly, she is fighting fucking dirty. Simply, this is the face I really fucking hate. This is the grossest freaking ew. It's just so fucking smug. Lambda does cover her tracks. She's good at that shit. This level of reasoning is possible for Furuto Erika. What do you think, everyone? So Uncle Kraus was also killed? We can't be sure of it. Kraus-san isn't the only person who hasn't come here, right? There's one more. Who were... Oh, Kinzo. If I want to try to come up with a theory for the phone calls, I might want to reread them first, just to make sure I'm not just, like, remembering the shit they were talking about, but, like, all the little things that happen, like, I think what was interesting here is they mentioned that, like, time between the phone passing from killer to the killer to, Kraus. Like, I want to look at little details like that. And I almost want to wonder when I'm rereading the phone calls in episode 4. I want to think whether or not those calls could have happened. Like, where was I going with that? I've said under duress before, but I almost don't think they happened under duress. I wonder if they somehow were, like, recorded out of context or something. I don't think it matters one way or the other, though, so that's what bothers me. Shit, they were using record tapes. They taped it. Kinzo has fucking tapes. That's it. Bingo. There's been someone recording shit. No, they were talking about it. They agreed that they all wanted to record the family conference. And they were, like, looking through Kinzo's old tapes to record them on. They were, like, talking about Kinzo's music and shit. So I think this mansion's bugged. And unfortunately, and this is a bit of a fucking jump. This is like total fucking theory slop from me. Yeah, they aren't vinyls. I'd have to double check it to make sure, but I'm pretty sure they're cassette tapes, which I think did exist in 1986, but I don't know. I'm 25. We also know that, like, bugging shit existed at this point, so that's not that big of a jump. And where I was going with, like, my kind of crazy-ass theory is, like, we're shown Jessica as a musician. I don't think it would be too much of a jump for Jessica to have, like, knowledge of audio-video, like, equipment. They're technically analog. Unfortunately, I don't even know what analog means. I have zero technical brain. Not computer. Yeah. Okay. So she hadn't been able to avoid... This is where she's gonna admit that Kinzo's dead. Because she never told them that she couldn't admit Kinzo's dead. So I think it's gonna be super interesting to see whether she just flat out admits Kinzo's dead right now, or holds that fucking secret too.
You don't mean Dad? Hey, someone must have contacted the study, right?
Of course we called. We even knocked on the door. There's no answer. Father is immersing himself in research. His research. He sometimes leaves the receiver off the hook because he doesn't want to be called and even ignores any knocking. But the phone was ringing. And I'm not sure if Goda knows Kinzo's dead. I heavily assume Shannon and Cannon know Kinzo's dead, but it's never shown directly. It's just extremely heavily implied by all the shit that like goes on when they're together with Kinzo at any given point in the whole fucking game before this. It's all bullshit, you know. Anyway, also that I could still keep talking about the theory that Natsui's been like Skinwalker replaced by somebody too, and that's a whole separate thing. That's another, but as I said, it feels like a red herring at this point. It seems just a little too fantastical to me. Anyway, let's first check to see that my husband's safe. Let's go to his room. I'm gonna go take a break real quick. Give me a second. Okay. Give me like a couple minutes. Alright, I'm back. I want to move my water real quick. And get rid of my thinking. There we go. Anyway, let's check first to see my husband's safe. I keep fucking reorganizing phrases. I fucking hate that when I do this. Why do I do that? Let's go to his room. Am I fucking dyslexic? I mean, what the fuck is going on? This is causing so much fucking agony because I do it all the fucking time. It's not even a big deal because I like always find a way to make the sentences work grammatically when I say them. Most of the time. Ugh. What the fuck is wrong with me? Okay. Natsui stood up in a flurry and dashed out into the corridor. Rudolph and the others immediately chased after her, telling her to wait. You might be right. I think that's it, actually. And I think my brain is, like, filling the gaps where it should be regular. Maybe that's it. Because I don't think anybody would say, let's first check. Like, realistically. I think it should be checked first. Yeah, I'm just filling in. Every time I do it, I think I'm just, like, trying to... Like, you could, exactly, like, I agree, you could say first check, but it's not something a regular English speaker would do. And maybe you could make the argument that, like, Natsui is a higher class person might say that. But still. Rudolph and the others immediately chased after her, telling her to wait. Yeah, Umineko has extremely distinctive dialogue and turns of phrase. Come on, let's all go together. In both third-rate mysteries and third-rate horrors, people who act alone tend to die first. Is Erica just gonna stand on business and keep all these fuckers together the whole time, and that's why there's only 6 deaths? Yeah, this game is just the same. Beato really is third-rate. Exactly, I agree. When she wants to do something, she does it. But in third-rate disaster movies and third-rate action movies, people who act alone do survive, right? Weird. Umineko does like playing around with genre. Can we say we're in such a pickle with this Beatrice right now? And I'm glad that we have a regular Beatrice, like a normal meta Beatrice, who exists as, with her hair down. But yeah, this game does really play with genre a lot. I like it, it's really fun. That's like a sign of extremely good writing. But we have this Beatrice, who, like, I presume is the one that Natsui sees. Then we have human Beatrice. Then we have fucking meta Beatrice. It's so fucking complicated. Even though the epitaph has already been solved. Who's behind this farce? Oh! Beatrice... Okay, so Beatrice, who I think is being imagined by Natsui, doesn't think... No, but she doesn't know about Lady Lambda Delta. What's going on? I'm really confused. Beatrice can't be back to normal. That's not right. What's going on here? Peace, Beato. Oh my god. This is fucked up. Okay, it might be the work of this man from 19 years ago, who is thought to be Lady Lambda Delta's piece. I feel like... I said this, I think, last night. I feel like Battler is gonna have to disprove that it's this man doing it. Okay. And I said this before, but it's kind of... I think what's gonna happen is Battler's almost gonna have to argue that Beatrice exists, and this rando from fucking 19 years ago is not. Like, that's a theory of mine as to where this might be going. Exactly. Like, Beatrice does exist, so we're gonna have to argue in favor of her. And not this random fucking dude from 19 years ago. Ah, yes, that can't be true. In the games up until now, Beato has already stated that Kinzo has vanished. Meaning that no more than 17 people exist and no 18th person exists. I think it's a super fucking huge coincidence that... I don't even think it's a coincidence, actually. 19 years ago, 19th person. 6 years ago is the first Twilight. Like, that feels like a cool connection to me. Playing with the numbers a little bit in this game, a little bit. 0 from 1. X plus Y is greater than 0. X equals 0. Y equals 0. This game loves numbers. If I wrote something, I would never be like this numerical in my writing. There's no room for this man from 19 years ago to appear on the island. So the man from 19 years ago is disguised as one of the existing humans. Or else... Even if a 19th person isn't permitted by the red, slipping in the 19th person is no trouble for me. No trouble for wishes. Ursula Le Guin says something interesting about genre. She says that genre is like a set of tools given to an author. Like how to write, like how in a fantasy book you can say, there was a dragon without much explanation. But in a sci-fi book, you would have to explain yourself or the reader would be lost. I think when Umineko plays with genre, it also plays with the tools given. Yeah, I agree. It's what makes this so fun. Exactly, yeah, you're 100% right. Now it's getting interesting. Why don't we watch this a little longer? Still, those two witches have finally started to do whatever they please with my game board, haven't they? Didn't you know that would happen when you invited them? As a witch, I have the same dislike for boredom as they do. Even the unexpected brings the kind of joy to brings the kind of joy a witch expects. Very well, bring it on. It's great that you're so eager. But things have taken a nasty turn. Get it? Indeed. Perhaps this isn't the best time to wait and see what happens next. I know that. At this rate, Keen's existence will become an issue once again, and the barrier around the study won't last long. That isn't all. There's no way freaking Natsui can be like, no, we mustn't interrupt father. Even though Kraus is missing and or dead, and so is Jessica, George, Maria, Rosa, and his best friend Genji. Yeah, let's just not tell Kinzo. Let's not let him know. Like, there's no way she's gonna be able to make a case for that. Like, it makes her look so fucking bad. To be honest, she really should just stop being an asshole. Father's hernia is acting up. He needs his cream. It's a very private matter. That isn't all. Things are going to get worse, even worse. See? Move 1, move 2, move 3, and then you're cornered. Natsui. Gop whispered something into Beato's ear. Beato's mouth slowly widened into a grin. Erica bringing everyone together is actually convenient for us. All the darkness outside the range of observers belongs to us demons. This may be the only time to make that move. And you know who's out of the fucking picture right now? Jessica. I don't know how she could have done it. But it's something to keep in mind. Yeah, they constantly refer to the magic circle as being paint, or like blood red looking paint. They never explicitly call it blood. I would love to watch Beatrice say in red. No, she didn't. She never saw Erica's body under the sheet. Going into the notes. That was before. Bingo. Easy peasy. Natsui is the king. She can't move far, but we cannot allow her to be taken. Let's take the initiative. If we slip up here, Natsui will be cornered. Gap, can I count on you? Of course. Well, unfortunately, you probably didn't have someone, like, feeding you answers a little bit. Because that's stuff I wouldn't notice. But I've done a lot of it myself, to be fair. I could imagine you may have... I have been throwing many curveballs. You have been? Ooh, that's interesting. No, I don't... I think I'm fine with it right now. Like, I'm happy if, like, this... I'm, like, happy with what I've kind of been able to look out for. Because sometimes I like when that shit's pointed out to me, because sometimes I'm just too dumb to notice. Because I always focus on, like, the big idea. I'm not, like, I'm never, like, a look at the fucking, like, specifics guy. I'm always, like, a big, broad analysis type guy. Like, I always look at things in, like, big. I'm not very specific. And I'm looking at the whole ass forest, and I never get to look at the trees. I'll blow a hole through closed room tricks, alibis, and mysteries alike. Leave it to me, I'll handle it. Bye, Gap. Gap was swallowed up, along with the chair she sat in, into a pitch black hole that opened on the floor and then disappeared. I remember I felt so proud when I had discovered that Gap was like a demon associated with the cardinal direction, and I was trying to connect that with the cardinal directions the letters had been sent in to Nanjo, Kumasawa, Goda, and I think Angie. I felt so proud about that connection, but it didn't work, sadly. I think it would have been super cool if it did, though. After that, a hole opened up. It would have been such a cool fucking detail. After that, a hole opened on the ceiling and spat just the black chair out, returning the place to the way it had been. This is becoming troublesome. I see. Against Lady Lambda Delta, even I am nothing more than a mere piece. So in the early game, I must worry more about expansion than losing or taking pieces. Well, yeah, that's how chess works. You just gotta like get all your pieces open. Like you gotta have your bishops ready. Just definitely probably your queen as soon as possible. Rooks, I don't give a fuck about the knights. Actually, knights are super good early game. I don't know. I'm not very good at chess. I'm a super mediocre chess player. I'm no match for that person. I won't let her do that. Natsui is the final master I will serve. Know that this is a piece you'll never be allowed to take. So long as she has contract with me, Beatrice. Krause's room was empty. The bed was too. But massive bloodstains, similar to the other crime scenes, remained. But there was no corpse. Nope. And he isn't dead. Maybe not. What's going on? Where's Nissan?
Judging by this blood-stained bed, I don't like to think about it. We should probably just assume that he was killed and had his neck cut open, just like the people in the guest house.
I want to see, really quick, I want to see the person who suggested that they keep recordings. Was it the True Family Conference? I don't think so. Wait, is it? Board. Yeah. It was actually Hideyoshi that suggested it. That's interesting. So that doesn't feel so good anymore. Okay. Did I put the plug in my phone? Fuck, hold up. I gotta get up and plug this shit in. Hello. Also, probably gonna be a Thanksgiving stream. Probably at the regular time. Because I'll probably... Actually, maybe a little later. It just depends on how long I want to stay. Probably. Judging by the amount of blood lost, it's hard to imagine that he's okay. But... Where did Kraus-sama go? Did they just confirm? Oh no, they gave him missing. He is now, I think, the third character to have gone missing this game. Kinzo, Kraus, and Cannon go missing. I think it's super interesting that they go missing, and they're also, like, people who live on the island and know Jessica. Well, even if you take out Kinzo, who's dead. I'm baking Jessica being Beatrice so fucking hard right now, it's insane. And I really don't want to hate Jessica, but... Because I really like Jessica, but... There's just shit that... Unfortunately, it's either her or Shannon that matches the age of Beatrice well. And Shannon just doesn't fit. Because it's likely that... people would have noticed she was, like, young. If Jessica killed everyone, I'm sure she had a good reason. Exactly. I'm sure it was like reminding Battler about love or some shit. Team Jessica. Hell yeah. Whether Kraus had been seriously wounded and wandered off somewhere or killed and carried somewhere, they had no clue where the somewhere might be. Fuck you, Gap. It's all your fucking fault. Wait a minute. Maybe Goda helped her. Maybe Nanjo helped her too, honestly. I don't trust any of the fucking servants anymore. They're all so fucking untrustworthy now. I can't believe I wanted to be like Battler and imagine none of these fucking people did it, and now I'm so fucking battered and beleaguered at this point. I'm like thinking everybody fucking did it. I have no trust for anyone anymore in this fucking island. I hate everybody except, like, the only fucking family I have respect for is the fucking Rudolph branch. I do not fucking trust anybody else. It's so sad how far they've all fallen. Whoops. And I clicked off. What the fuck? Hold up. Ellipses. Matsui knew. Though Kraus had been sounding far from his best over the phone. At least he hadn't sounded like he was on the brink of death. In other words, these bloodstains had to be a setup. That might not even be blood. However, just what was that man thinking? What's this supposed to be? What the heck? So on the first twilight, there were 6 sacrifices. Was Kraus Nissan in the habit of locking his door? We just came in without unlocking it. Yes, Kraus-sama also has a habit of locking up. At this house, Madam has ordered that all non-public areas be locked. How many keys can unlock Kraus's room? Can we confirm that in red, please? Same goes for the windows. Again. Because honestly, if they don't say in red that the condition of the doors and windows are the same for each game, I kind of have reason to suspect. The same thing with hidden passages, really. But that violates the law of mystery. So I can't suspect hidden passages, because that defeats the point. Okay. No, it was hidden passages without sufficient build-up, I believe was the phrase. And I said before, I think Winchester theory is enough to, like, make that work. Oh, all that stuff about keys is a pointless argument. Did you forget that Genji-san is already a victim? His master key is missing. That means all the locks in this mansion are meaningless. How boring. In other words, no closed room murders. Certainty. Certainty. This is Lambda Delta shit. 100 billion% Lambda shit. No closed room murders have existed or will exist in this mansion. Sheesh. This is getting to be a pretty boring mystery. Erica laughed off this murder in disappointment, as though it was something she was watching on TV. I can't understand it. Why is her world so different from ours? It's almost like she's in a separate dimension from us. Was Jessica also like this in a bed? Yes, that's right. Just like George, her neck was cut. Jessica! Let me be with Jessica. I haven't even seen Jessica's face yet. Jessica! Jessica! Wait up, Natsui-san. The culprit might still be hiding nearby. It would be dangerous to let her be alone. Natsui flew out of the room and dashed towards the guest house this time. It was only natural. Natsui still hadn't even seen Jessica's dying face. Everyone probably thought that. Of course, even Natsui was half thinking that. The other half was her desire to shift everyone else's attention away from the study. That bitch. Strange crimes that have occurred, and the that had been discovered, and some relatives have been recommended to Battler and the successor. She's such a fucking asshole. And some relatives even recommended Battler to be the successor, even in these twisted circumstances. This episode is so fucking crazy. It's so, like, totally different from everything else. She had to protect Kinzo's secret. My head is going to be racked by this suffering anyway. 1/4? Jeez. There's still so much to go. Please, just let my head explode right now. I can't believe she just said that. That freaking connects to episode 1. When she was probably shot by somebody. Maybe Jessica. That's why I won't have to suffer any longer. So everyone, for Natsui-san's sake, let's return to the guest house for the time being. Though it's not as though seeing their dead faces is going to lead to any new developments. I don't fucking know, Erica, is it? I need to see where, if Jessica's body's gone, I would fucking lose my shit. I would go fucking so ape shit fucking crazy. I almost think that's too easy though. That's my issue. Do you even have a heart? A heart? What's that? Ew! What is that face? Just seeing her daughter's dead face wouldn't bring Jessica back to life, nor would it heal Natsui again. Nor would it heal Natsui's anguish. Whoa. On the contrary, my glasses are fucking foggy as shit. On the contrary, she would probably wail, wasting a considerable amount of time before being able to think properly again. This probably sums up Erica's screwed up argument. Just seeing their dying faces won't lead to any new developments? Like hell it won't. Beato's pieces have brought about a really interesting change. Oh my god, no fucking way. Please, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck? What in the... Oh my fucking god. Natsui flew into the cousin room on the second floor of the guest house and was struck dumb by the blood-stained beds and eerie magic circle, which looked like they might have been drawn with the victim's blood. There's Jessica. No fucking way! Umineko! No! I'm fucking playing right into this game's hands, Eric. I'm playing right into this game's hands every fucking time. They know exactly what I'm fucking thinking. Fuck. Is it too easy? Is George still there? Where is she? Jessica! Is that in that bed? A bed? Where? Huh? George? Where is he? Oh, okay. George is gone too. That's fine. If they just left George, I'd be fucking shitting my pants and I would feel totally fine. Or I would be so fucking miffed. I would be so fucking dooming. I would be fucking losing my shit. My whole theory would just be instantly shattered. Because it would be too obvious, and I almost don't want a theory that's too obvious. Wait a minute. I just had a realization. I never even considered this. But remember how Jessica saw George dying in episode 4? And guess who was already the other person in the mansion? Jessica. We already knew Jessica was in the mansion. Hold up, I'm writing that down. Jessica's corpse is never discovered in episode 4. Beatrice is seen leaving the mansion. Wait, it is? Oh, that's right. That's right. Fuck, I forgot about that. I remember it now. Fuck! That would have been so easy. And that can be explained away with double identities, and maybe Jessica's already dead. Was dead before the events. Maybe there was a real Jessica at some point. I don't know. Or maybe like the identity of Jessica is dead in a way, and that's how Beatrice is revived. I don't know. But I still think it's a tidbit worth writing down, because I think it's interesting. It still connects to the theory. It just wasn't as good as I thought it was. It wasn't as good as I thought it was, but I still think it's good. Jessica sees George die. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Buddha style. That's what I was thinking.
Wait a sec. What the hell is going on here?
Are Maria and Rosa gone too? We made sure to lock this room when we left, right? We can now be certain the culprit has a master key. Once again, my reasoning was correct. Who cares about that? Where did they go? Okay, so... yeah, Rosa and Maria's corpses are gone too. Okay, that works so fucking well. That works so splendidly well with my theory. Nice trick. Hey, look, it's magic, right? That Gap who's with Beato hid the corpses somewhere with magic. All of us move together. So you're trying to say that everyone had alibis? Your reasoning goes like this, right? The four of them weren't actually dead. They were just playing dead. Then, when no one else was around, they hid somewhere. Am I right? You don't intend to proclaim any of their deaths in red now, do you? Of course I won't! Unlike that dolt Beato, I don't give out red for free. In that case, I'll be glad to use the blue truth. I can think of many ways to work around something at this level. Sure, go ahead! Bulletproof time! Here's the first one I can think of. The victims aren't actually dead. They pretended to be dead, then secretly hid themselves somewhere. After all, you haven't proclaimed anyone's death with the red truth. Even though you've been shown their gaping wounds, you're still trying that one on principle. So long as there's no red, right? But don't get your hopes up. I'm not giving you a freebie red truth. After all, I just have to deny it all at once at the end of the game on October 5th, midnight. At midnight on October 5th. Well, the witch's side is such a big advantage. It'd be all over now if that stupid battler was my opponent. You want like that, right, bud? Of course. Anyone could have thought of that silly move. I have no. Kraus carried the corpses off and hid them. I mean, that's fine. That would also explain why there's blood in the bed. You could argue that, like, he got dirty and, like, rolled around in his bed a little bit. I don't fucking know. Maybe Kraus was an accomplice. That's also possible. Because if I recall, he was saying some pretty fucking weird shit to Natsui before they like were separated by Genji announcing that another phone call had come. But I've also said before that we don't even necessarily know if these phone calls are real. You've acted it out so that it looks like you've kidnapped Kraus and locked him up somewhere, but he might actually be free. Kraus has no alibi. Kraus hid their corpses. Yeah, that's right. It's not like I proclaimed that Kraus should be confined with the red truth. You know how they say you gotta confuse your friends before you can confuse your enemies. So he lied to Natsui, making it seem like he'd been captured. Any others? Third one. The corpses were different people in the first place. I mean, that just doesn't really matter to me. I don't think it matters one way or the other. They were substitute corpses that closely resembled the victims. George and the others were hiding from the beginning and later cleared up those substitute corpses. These corpses were dead from the very beginning, so they don't count towards the number of people on the island. I mean, that's the devil's proof, Baron Castle. It's not good enough.
That's messed up. So even though all those people gathered around and saw their dead faces, none of them realized they were substitute corpses.
That was like the most horrendous fucking laugh I've done this whole fucking reading. Since you haven't used the red truth, there's a possibility that everyone misidentified all of the corpses. Though if you feel like repeating, no one would misidentify a person, I'll withdraw that claim immediately, okay? No way! I'm not falling for that. The red truth's only useful if you use it in a flash, right? I'll take a single truth out of a large pile of blue and smash it with the red. Then the rest of the blue truths will be swallowed up by darkness before you can find out whether they're right or wrong. The darkness is the world of that darkness is the world of witches. You won't be given any truth at all. This girl acts like she's stupid, but she's not bad at all. She'll never rise to provocation. Looks like she understands the darkness of magic even better than the true game master, Beato. And apparently, Gap understood that as well. That move of hiding the corpses. It was pretty effective for both Lambda and Beato. In any event, I'd thought up a full 3 theories about the disappearing corpses. And I don't think they were all very good, but I think the first one was closest to the truth. Burn. Three blue wedges for a single riddle. It doesn't mean she can just deny one of those 3. Unless she eliminates all 3 wedges, this riddle has been defeated. That's the ironclad rule of witch hunting. A single wedge isn't nearly enough. Only vampires die from a single stake. Compared to witches, vampires are weak. Oh, where's my water? Holy moly. True witches won't die unless you stab them all over with stakes, right? It's the same with assassins, isn't it? It's only in Japanese manga that you see assassins kill their targets with a single perfect shot. Clearly, they could have never seen the Charlie Kirk shooting. Because that shit was fucking real, and I saw it, like, all day for the next freaking week. Shit was fucking crazy. Real assassins will empty out an entire magazine's worth of bullets. Also the guy that killed Shinzo Abe. But he had like a huge fucking jury-rigged shotgun. Not jury-rigged, like a pipe gun from Fallout 4. That's how you do those things, right? Of course, it's the same for me. But it's this girl we're talking about. Get a blunderbuss. Yeah. So she might slice it all in 2 with a single swipe of the red. By simply letting off a few quick lines confirming their deaths and Krause's innocence with the red, she can remove all 3 of my wedges. Well, that's okay. When the red truth does come out, I just need to follow along with it and stab her full of blue wedges again. This is how a game of witches plays out. Ah, it's so fun. Battler's sluggish battles always piss me off, so I'm loving this. Yeah, I understand, Lambda. This first Twilight is just the beginning of the beginning. It's just a skirmish, right? Wouldn't have it any other way. I'll make you lose pathetically and cry out in regret as you crawl and scratch at the floor. I've almost forgotten the pleasure of grabbing that cute hair of yours and wiping the floor with it as I roll over laughing. I need to go get more water. Let me just see whatever happens like right now. Okay, nothing. Alright, go get some more water and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. The servant waiting room in the mansion had once again gone silent. There lay Genji's corpse, which had been covered completely with a blanket. In the ceiling of this cramped room, a pitch black hole appeared. You know, actually, this all could be explained with Winchester theory. Like, how is somebody getting from the guest house to the mansion without the others noticing? This can be explained with Winchester theory. I'm still waiting for the moment it's fucking revealed, though. If Winchester theory is fucking real, I'm shitting my pants. Because I've been talking about it the whole fucking Let's Play. It just isn't something I've been over yet. The idea that there's some hidden tunnel that connects the guest house and the mansion. In the ceiling of this cramped room, a pitch black hole appeared. Captivating legs sprouted out. Okay. And Gop floated downwards. Sup, bitches? Sorry, Genji. You probably want to enjoy your eternal sleep right there, but that's not going to be possible. Please disappear from this place so you may serve Natsui, the final head of your Shiramiya family, even after death. Gap stripped off the blanket as she said this to Genji, who was sleeping peacefully. Then she stared at the deep wound in his neck. That's a nice cut. It must have been made with a single slice. Has anyone who's capable of this manifested yet? Not good. I can't think of anyone decent who might be capable of this. It goes without saying, but witches are capable of summoning beings with a strength proportional to their own ability. The great Lady Lambda Delta called that being here as a trump card 19th person. Even optimistically speaking, this is on par with Ronave and me. A pitch black hole opened on the bed, and Genji disappeared as though the bed had swallowed him up. Just like the four in the guest house, Genji's corpse was also hidden in some unknown place. It was a place that no one could find, located neither within this world nor the next. No longer would anyone be able to find their corpses. What if they're being taken to Kuadorian? Well, I've said that before, but like last time when they fell through the holes, what if they're taken to Kuadorian? Which is like another Winchester theory thing. She carried Genji's corpse to this place of endless silence, where it would never be disturbed. When there's no corpse, a person goes missing. When a person's missing, people both suspect that they might be the culprit, and suspect that they might be victims. True, like the inside of a cat box. That's what I said earlier. I said the house was a cat box. I think this is so interesting who they've chosen this time for the first 6. You were a bit too slow, Miss Great Detective. Gap licked her lips and gulped. I wonder why Gap-sama is going around hiding corpses. I don't know. But Gap-sama is pretty cool. She's just so awesome. Don't be stupid. What happened to standing guard? The humans are returning from the guest house. Gap-sama. Yes, let's disperse. Scatter. This should be enough to give Natsui a way out. Gap jumped into a pitch black hole that had opened near her feet. Fucking Toontown ass motherfucker. Mammon said, I'm going in too, and jumped in. Followed by Asmo, who said, me too, and hopped in, giggling. As Satan hesitated over what to do, the hole closed. You call yourselves the members of the Seven Sisters of Purgatory. How childish. So stupid. Satan went bright red and angry all by herself, then turned into gold butterflies and disappeared. It seems Gap has succeeded in moving the 5 corpses. Well done. However, the next part is tricky. They will probably be somewhat surprised at the disappearance of Genji's corpse. But their interest will most likely swing back to Kinzo's study after that. There are 2 keys to the study. It's fortunate that Natsui is in possession of both. If she had left one with Genji, it would probably have fallen into Lady Lambda Delta's hands by now. It seems that Lady Lambda Delta has no intention of hiding Kinzo's death. We're getting close to one of your favorite scenes? Ooh. Apparently, she plans... Oh, your favorite character? New character coming? Apparently, she plans to fight while ignoring the moat towers and ramparts that you have created. The moat towers and ramparts you've created. This has become a strange triangular confrontation. We are all each other's enemies, but we will sometimes join forces without notice. In a 3-way fight, just when you think it's 2 against 1, it suddenly becomes 1 against 2. That's what it's like. That Chinese battle royale. Don't you think it's like that Records of the 3 Kingdoms thing? Isn't it called Romance of the 3 Kingdoms? Nope, I'm fucking so wrong. Holy shit, it's crazy. Oh, wait. Oh, the 14th century novel is based off the records. Okay. This shit's cool as fuck. I wish I knew more about it. I really know nothing about it at all, though. Why is my Discord not even on streamer mode? Fuck. Oh wait, no, it is. A little bit. I'm confused. Oh, the Longjong plan. That's a quite sophisticated analogy to hear coming from you. There were 3 empires in the records of the 3 kingdoms, weren't there? Yeah. Wei, Wu, and Shu, right? That sounds just like us. So, which empire won out in the end? The power that gained control in the end was the Jin dynasty. The 3 empires you mentioned were all destroyed. Ooh, that's a good analogy. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought one of the 3 empires won. Didn't Wei have an overwhelming advantage? They had the position of emperor stolen from them, and their empire was subjugated and destroyed. The Sima clan, a noble family that Cao Cao invited in as advisors, eventually gained central control in a power struggle and took over the country. So they were invited in as advisors, and they seized control. Very interesting. That lady landed a delta. Pardon me. The humans have confirmed the disappearance of Genji's corpse in the servant waiting room. They've started moving towards Lord Goldsmith's study. Riche! They're coming! Let them come. The humans and the witches of certainty and miracles. If this is a three-way fight, then we've got humans, witches, and... what should we be called? If the thing we're protecting for the time being is Kinso's phantom. So we are phantoms, then. Alright, it's like 8:04, I believe. Though I have fucking read the clocks wrong before, I fucking know I have. Father, it's Natsui. Good morning. There's no way he'll wake up if you do it like that. Father, it's Ava. Please wake the fuck up. It's an emergency. Ava pushed Natsui aside and knocked repeatedly with all her strength. Quiet down. You're being too boisterous. Oh my god, shut the fuck up, Natsui. Shut the fuck up. Is now really the time to be saying something like that? So he isn't picking up the phone, and he isn't responding to knocking either. That's troublesome. He might be in a bad mood again. Kinzo sometimes even... reading is hard. Kinzo sometimes considers even the slightest change to be an omen, and gets into a bad mood for reasons only he can understand. Moment incoming. Yes, that's true. This isn't something that started today. Is that how badly grandfather wants to shut himself away in the study? Yes, it's not uncommon for him to stay in the study for more than a month at a time. Don't tell anyone. But even though I work here, I sometimes forget that the master even lives here. Goda! That's not the sort of thing a servant should be saying. My apologies, madam. I'm truly sorry. Anyway, isn't it bad that we can't get in contact with him? In the worst case, father might not even know there's been a crime, right? Well, I wonder. Keenly noticing that people were starting to doubt Kinzo's existence, Cannon mumbled those words. Who was the last person to meet father, and when? It was me, last night. Up until the time of the uproar from when Battler found the gold, I was in father's study giving him the daily report. So at around 11 o'clock last night.
No way around it. Let's open it up.
What did you say? This is the family's head, precious study and research room. No one is permitted to trespass without permission, okay? He's coping and seething so fucking hard. What is behind this door, and is it a new character? Who here holds the highest rank? Me, right? I am the third in rank of the Ushiramiya family. If we open it and get scolded by father, that's also a responsibility of the highest ranked. Because of the urgent circumstances, we'll open this door. Fucking okay, Ava. Fucking throw some capoeira moves on her. God damn. Open it. I believe you know this, but the study door cannot be opened with the master key. The master key has recently been taken away Genji. The master has recently taken away Genji-sama's key as well. So he has both keys on his person. Therefore, so both of the keys that can open this door inside the study. Fucking break it down. Who fucking cares? Fucking, like, get a ladder and look in the window or something. Fuck. Pick the lock. Fuck, I don't even know. Lockpicking really has not been considered enough in this game. A closed room. Good. It's finally starting to get a little interesting. It'd be pretty neat if Kinzo-san was lying on the bed there with his throat cut. You're being far too indiscreet, Erika-san. Anyway, as you know, this door can only be opened by the keys Father has and not the ones I definitely have. Oh yeah? Then what's that in your pocket? That means anyone, even a murderer, would find it impossible to even touch Father from outside the room. I just did the fucking thing where the SVO is all messed up. So Father must be okay. Still, that doesn't mean we shouldn't worry about confirming his safety. Are you really someone concerned for the safety of Father that you respect so much? Ooh, that's a fucking own. That is such a fucking own from Ava. Did I notice it? The atmosphere, which had been so agitated a second ago, suddenly went cold. An eerie feeling filled the room as everyone stared at Natsui. Yeah, she looks really shitty right now. I mean, right now I'm thinking about how the idea that the room is untouchable, like with the scorpion lock, it almost feels like that's kind of that motif is coming up again. I could understand why Natsu would protect the study under normal circumstances. People knew that she probably didn't want to disturb the research of Kinzo, a man she certainly respected. She was therefore trying to keep the unpleasant relatives away. However, this was an extraordinary situation. A murder had occurred. Natsui's persistence in keeping things quiet for Kinzo, even in a situation like this, was hard to understand using common sense. Hi, Binga. Shit's been fucking crazy. The second you left that fucking stream, I started baking who Beatrice was so goddamn hard. And I have like a theory. I don't know if you caught the VOD. But this shit is so fucking real right now. I'm so sorry. That's so funny. Like, you could, like, just watch my brain fucking, like, going a million miles a fucking minute. There's a good chance that the crime occurring on this island will probably turn out to be the plotline murders mimicking the epitaph. It's probably a good idea to assume that the crimes will continue. If we view these as plotline murders, then it will keep going until a total of 13 lives are taken. Do you have any concept of how many victims that would be?
Wait a sec. How many people do you think are on this island? Wouldn't that be almost everyone?
No, none. Okay. You've got it all wrong. As far as I know, the mystery novel, The Most Dead People in a Serial Murder, was And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie, which had 10 deaths. Well, I never read Agatha Christie, so... In the realm of Japanese mysteries, it's probably the Tokyo Zodiac Murders by Shimada Shoji. Though there were less than 10 deaths in that one. Did you know? If 13 people die, it'll lead to the most infamous and famous development in the history of the mystery genre. Is that like a funny way or a spoiler way? Okay, I'm fucking Googling it. Fuck it. Whoa! Okay. Oh my fucking god. Okay, Agatha Christie. Whatever. They had no fucking chill. It's like a Lovecraft's cat situation. Oh my god. And if everyone on this island is killed, that'd make it a historical achievement in the world of serial murder mysteries. With even more deaths than the longest murder mystery in the world and the longest one in Japan put together, don't you see? Hey, didn't you know, everyone? Oh, shut the fuck up. Yeah, Lovecraft was insane because he was like because he just didn't like Portuguese people. I don't even know what better way to put it. He just didn't like Portuguese people coming to New England. The culprit in this crime is giving us an incredible challenge, one that might even surpass all the mysteries throughout the world and throughout history. Okay, game, whatever. This game is kind of glazing itself right now. Of course, everyone realized that long ago, right? Or you could argue that's freaking Lambda Delta glazing herself. If you like mystery, Christie's a must-read. Oh yeah, okay, you're right. Erica is not controlled by Lambda. If you're Japanese, then it's only natural that you've read Shimada Shoji's works all the way through. Are you sure you've been reading enough, everyone? Cackle, 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 cackle. I haven't done a cackle, cackle, cackle in a while. It's useless. Huh? Looks like you haven't read enough yourself. Did I say something wrong? Erica, who had been chatting away happily all by herself up until a second ago. So my theory is that there is another person on the island and Natsui murders them. Because I think they mentioned something about that in the beginning. Like, it was like something about, like, all but the exception of one. Unless that was referring to Krause's disappearance. I would have to reread the exact line to be sure. Changed her expression into a displeasured glare in an instant. What were you saying about the Japanese mystery genre? Sakaguchi Ango's non-serial murders beats the Zodiac murders. Oh my god, fucking owned. Get fucking owned, Erica. The number of people was the same in both, right? They tie for the record, but Non-Serial Murders was first published in 1947. The Zodiac Murders was 1981. If you know so much about them, you shouldn't you have mentioned Non-Serial Murders first? Fucking owned. Look at that. That's a fucking face of a total fucking asshole getting her shit called out. Erica glared at Battler with an expression that couldn't be fully described with the word shock. And her arms shook as she stood there, lost for words.
That's so totally lame.
Well, that's understandable. The crimes in the Zodiac took place in 1936, right? That must have gotten her confused, right? Lambda Delta kept hitting on the table, overcome with laughter. Oh my fucking god, Lambda. Even Berncastle, who had been struck with humiliation, snorted and started pounding the table, laughing in the same way. These guys are fucking assholes. Totally fucking gauche. This is just too good. Not bad, Peace Battler. I'm impressed. You must read a lot, don't you, Battler-san? Books? I hardly read those at all. Fucking owned. Fucking owned. You liar. You know, quite a lot, don't you? I'd never say something as arrogant as I'm a book reader. That's why I don't say I'm a fucking book reader. I read books sometimes. I'm a book reader isn't something a person who doesn't even read 100 per year should say lightly. Don't you think? You mere piece. Yeah, 100 books is fucking crazy. A book every, like, 3.5 days is a fucking lot. That's a lot of time spent reading. Anyway, we can't let such a massive crime take place. Yeah, exactly. So long as it's just a fucking epic Erica own line.
That's right. At any rate, checking Dad's safety is our first priority right now. But what should we do? He's ignoring the phone and our knocks. The keys are inside. There's nothing we can do.
I hope Natsui does like a, oh wait, I actually have a key moment.
Are we supposed to knock this thick door down? That won't be easy.
father might have been attacked by someone and severely injured, and maybe he's waiting for someone to help him. This is an extraordinary circumstance. Even father will understand, and even if he has any rebukes, I'll be happy to take the responsibility myself. But breaking down a door would be quite rude. Fucking Natsui. She's coping so hard. She's such a fucking asshole. What about the window? That's right, the window. Is there a ladder somewhere that can reach as high as the 3rd floor? We should be able to get inside by smashing the window. Erica finally came back to her senses and her tone regained its decisive edge. The 3rd-story window, that would be dangerous.
We won't know unless we try. Is there a ladder around here that can reach up 3 floors?
I don't think the ladder in the gardening shed isn't long enough. Whoa, wait a minute. Hold up. Goda? Goda? That is so interesting, Goda. I'm so glad you said that, Goda. That's going in my fucking notes. They did never tell him. There is a ladder in the boiler room that can reach the 3rd floor. Is this really what Winchester theory is gonna turn out to be? Ladders? Fucking chutes and ladders theory? All that Winchester theory shit just for fucking ladders? What the fuck? Okay. Revealed by Goda, who most likely knows that doesn't know. I remember when using it to make up when a bird made a nest on top of the rain gutter. They killed baby birds? What the fuck? Yes, that would be able to reach without a doubt. He must have been extremely happy about thinking of something Canon hadn't. I wonder if Canon knew, but just didn't want to say anything. Looking pleased with himself as though he had won something, he glanced around at everyone. He cooked those fucking birds. Hell yeah, he did. He was probably hoping that Natsui would praise him, but she quickly avoided his gaze. Of course, Canon had known about that ladder too. However, in order to protect Kinzo's... Okay, so they do know. Yeah, that was just 100% confirmed right now. This is actually bizarrely fucking funny. Kinzo being like trying to help out when really he's just freaking making shit a million times worse for the Natsui and possibly Jessica Beatrice and the gang. Fucking goofy ass character. But with this weather and the strong winds, isn't this just too dangerous? Shut the fuck up, Shannon. Shut the fuck up. Shannon, I really like you, but sometimes you're a fucking sheep. Shut the fuck up. I'm done with your shit, Shannon. Be fucking real for a second. You're a fucking liar. Fuck you and your fucking pedophile husband. I agree. What's she supposed to do? Not be an asshole. She should be the first one on the fucking ladder. If someone gets seriously injured, we can't go to a hospital until tomorrow, right? The wind might not be as strong in the courtyard. Oh, this is so fucked up. This is actually a really smart idea from Kairi, too. Kairi's 100% right. This is so fucking funny. This is so fucking Umineko right now. This is so quintessentially Umineko. Where you have all these fucking characters with different bits of information and competing goals who all fucking hate each other. Oh my god, look at fucking how pissed Natsui is. This is such a good fucking scene right now. I can't wait to fucking rewatch my fucking playthrough of this game and watch all these moments again and be like, holy shit. Experiencing this game for the first time is so fucking cool. Back when we had to clean up the bird's nest, most of the servants shrank away from the danger. But I loved cooking the birds. That's when I, your humble servant, took a major role in spectacularly handling the situation. Shut the fuck up, Goda. Right there, there's no problem. Let's just get a ladder that'll reach... And it looks like someone here already has experience with this sort of thing. Let's not trust fucking Goda, please, actually. Huh? I don't trust Goda, unfortunately, so... Unless he breaks through the window and unlocks it. Wouldn't it be fucking awful if Goda just fucking fell and died? Like the fucking ladder just fucking rolls back and he fucking cracks his skull open. Oh my god. The courtyard was surrounded on all four sides, so while the rain was still fierce, the winds almost had no effect. Fortunately, the ceiling jutted out a bit, so the rain wasn't so bad.
Okay, let's try standing the ladder up. Be careful. Don't hurt yourself.
Sure. Rudolph and Battler carried the special ladder, which was designed for work on high places. 2 umbrellas followed the pair. Shannon and Cannon were holding umbrellas and sheltering them from the rain.
It doesn't matter if we get wet. Go back under the eaves.
He falls from the ladder and crushes Shannon. They both die. The second twilight is completed. They were close when they had a nice and sweet moment at breakfast. That is such a good fucking idea.
Go to San. Even if there's something wrong with your knees, can you at least hold a ladder? You can at least hold the ladder down, right?
Yes. If only I had enough Hyalu Ronan. What the fuck is Hyalu Ronan? Oh, it's like an injection. Okay. It's like an injection you get to like reduce pain in like your joints and shit. Goda clambered forward to replace Shannon and Cannon. As she watched this, Kairi giggled.
Dad, hammer.
Wait, why did I read him in fucking... Okay, whoopsie daisy. Dad, hammer.
Cool. Battler, you love athletics, don't you?
Not as much as I love my cool handyman dad. This is the best fucking line I've ever seen Battler say. I can't believe fucking... This is like Lambda just having fun. Battler would never say this fucking shit. Fucking, I'm so broken by this episode. Fucking space travel, fucking Kraus. That fucking moment with Goda and Shannon, and the fucking moment where Goda's like suggesting the ladder. I don't think he's ever called him dad either. Lambda just knows a good comedy when she sees it.
You little brat. Sheesh. I guess I gotta show this son of mine my good side every once in a while. Battler, Goda-san, hold that ladder down tight. Make sure you're looking up, okay?
Wait, who's going down up the ladder? I'm confused.
My hand might slip up and you'll have this ladder tumbling down on you.
Oh, I guess, is Rudolph going up the ladder? That's interesting. Also because, well, I thought Rudolph was gonna die, but Rudolph and Battler need to have have the conversation. The fucking Ned Stark, Jon Snow conversation. Fucking Natsui is fucking Lyanna Stark. Fucking Kraus is Rhaegar Targaryen. Kraus is so fucking Rhaegar coded, actually. I'm fucking cooking right now. I'll catch it and smash your head in. Very funny, Battler. Wait, that's fucked up. That's like a allusion to the fucking his death. After putting the hammer, they'd gotten to smash the window in his pocket and... I don't think I read that right. After putting the hammer, they'd gotten to smash the window in his pocket and cracking his knuckles, Rudolph started climbing.
La-ti-da-ti-da. I'm going up a ladder.
Will Rudolph-sama be okay? He'll be fine. That guy could totally be in an action movie. Plus, sports are one of his strong points.
I wish you'd tell me how my skating prowess is supposed to help me climb up ladders. I am Ina Bauer, always in a big pinch or whatever.
I'm pretty sure Ina Bauer's a famous skater. So, okay. He'll manage to avoid... Wait, why the fuck? Okay. He'll manage to avoid dying, so there's nothing to worry about. More importantly, we're really lucky the shutters aren't down. So one thing I thought, and I'm not sure if... I guess I've been kind of proven wrong, is I was under the assumption that the window in Kinzo's study went out to the, like, outside to the rose garden. But it seems like I'm wrong. So I'm gonna put that in my notes, because that was, I think, a wrong misconception I had the whole time. So is there a side that looks out to the rose garden and a side that looks out to the courtyard? Or to the, yeah, the courtyard. I almost want to, like... Hold up. I think I need to, like, do a paint. Do I need to do, like, the streamer thing and get out paint? Yeah, They haven't been in chat in a while, but Bedwards, who was actually the first person to tune into my Umineko stream, they've been to that mansion, funny enough. Hold up, I'm doing a fucking, actually doing a fucking streamer moment where I fucking cut to the paint and I do like my little model. This is such a streamer thing to do. Oh my god, I'm such a streamer. This is like a YouTube Shorts moment. Oh my god. Okay. So mansion looks like, hold up, I can't draw. So this is why I don't usually do shit like this. So what the fuck? The mansion looks like this. And then we got, what the fuck? No, no, no. No, wait, no, you undo that. Okay. Mansion looks like this. And then you got roses. Wait, fuck, I want to brush. Can't draw. You got like roses, and then you got GH, guest house. And then you got like the shed and the chapel, which are kind of like separate places. So I always thought that Kinzo's window peered out here. So when he was throwing the ring outside, like that's where it was going. But I guess I had to reconsider the whole Kinzo ring thing to begin with because he was never alive, but I don't know. I still think it's an important detail that his window might actually be looking out into the courtyard. Anyway, that's my little streamer uses paint moment. So that'll get me about 1 million views on YouTube Shorts. And I'll be like pirate software or whatever the fuck, and I'll just be a huge asshole. Okay, I just need my game capture to pick up again. Fuck. There we go. Okay. That was my little streamer viral moment. Yes. Maybe I'll clip it and fucking make it a YouTube short. Okay. That shit's fucking tricky, though. When we're permitted to enter and exit, we open and close them in the morning and at night. And then there's I didn't even put on my thing, but there's the basement, which connects the courtyard to the rest of the mansion through 2 different ways. However, I think it was decided that such a thing was unnecessary for the time being, so it was left open. I see. Father will be pretty mad, won't he? If his son smashes the window and comes in while he's sleeping. That would be really fucking funny. If Kinzo was still alive, I would really hope that would scare the shit out of him and he would die. That's probably... Wait, that's probably... It'd be wonderful if we didn't have to smash the window, don't you think? Both Shannon and Cannon knew that Kinzo no longer existed in this world, but they're both total fucking assholes and don't want to fucking admit it because they're fucking accomplices at this point. At least Hanatsui. We don't even can know about fucking Beatrice. Natsui had ordered them to interfere as much as possible. But now that it had come to this, there was nothing the 2 of them could do. They tried to interfere by pretending they didn't know about a ladder could reach up to the 3rd floor window, but Shannon, you're such a fucking bad liar. Why wouldn't Shannon know about this? Cannon, maybe. But Shannon's been here fucking longer than Goda. And Goda fucking knew. So these 2 look like total fucking assholes right now. And if Goda knew, why the fuck would these 2 not know? or Kumasawa, or fucking Nanjo. Oh my god. Does Nanjo just fucking live here? Is he even a... I guess there's... I know they mentioned the Nanjo clinic or whatever the fuck, but what if he just is an asshole that just chills out in his best friend's mansion all fucking day? Ugh, this game is driving me fucking insane. But because of Goda's showing off, that ladder had been found. Thank you, Goda. I never thought you would be helpful this whole game. Rudolph carefully climbed the ladder. He would reach the third floor window very soon. As he did this, Shannon and Cannon stared at him, looking uneasy. After this, what will happen next? The two of them? To Madam? To the Master? Very soon, Rudolph reached the window. I'm really worried until Rudolph fucking busts his shit open and climbs in. So, it's already at the end for this room barrier.
Ha ha ha. The soldiers are scaling the ramparts, trying to reach the other side. The moment of surrender is truly right before our eyes. I am prepared to be erased at any moment.
We can't let that happen. You have to remain alive, even if it remains crawling through the dirt. I know. I'm wondering if there's going to be a problem with the ladder. That is a good Beato face. This is why they should have made up that fucking lie about Kinzo going missing. They should have never fucking... Or at least whenever this shit is discovered, she should just create a lie that Kinzo is going missing, that she didn't want to admit to it. That's the only thing she should do right now. It would be fucking terrible, but at least it wouldn't be that bad. It's getting late. I need to find a good place for this. For now, escape from this place.
You may say that, but what can I do? Ava and the rest are still camped out in the hallway, and Rudolph is approaching the window. There's no way of retreat through the door or the window.
In that case, perhaps you could hide under the bed.
So I am not even permitted the chance to wait for the enemy's arrival in my throat.
You might have done that while you were still alive. But now you're a ghost that Natsui and I brought to life. Ghosts should do what ghosts do best and hide under the bed or in a closet. Oh, she's your Minecraft skin? I fucking love that.
Will someone like that
Really deceive their eyes?
my?
Don't worry, I'll be with you. I'll let you escape at the last moment.
It would be dangerous for you. Even though you're a demon, you won't get away unscathed if you're burned by the magic-resistant toxin.
Don't worry about that. Anyway, I need things to get at least that back before my heart starts pumping.
How comforting. I understand. I'll hide under the bed.
Milady, Rudolph will reach the window very soon. Gap, I've changed my mind. I'll guard this place. Hide yourself along with Ronove. What did you say?
You've got it backwards.
Didn't we plan to leave this place to Gap and have you retreat, milady? Though Ronove should have been used to her fickleness, this surprised him. For the first time in a long while. What the fuck is gonna happen? Beato may have been a powerful queen, but she was also an important piece that mustn't be exposed to danger. Though she was strong, running to the front lines without any plan would not be a praiseworthy move. What kind of whim is this? It's just a whim. I'm not so fond of boredom that I could simply sip tea while leaving everything to you. I've just gotten the urge to jump into a struggle right away. I understand. It is your game, after all. You could do as you wish. I'll carefully watch over the corpses of the first Twilight that I erased, making sure nothing happens to them. Sorry for stealing your time to shine. Is this really acceptable, milady? You should know I like showing off even more than my 3 meals a day. I've done nothing but gobble up Gap's turn. Don't worry about it. Ronave and Gap both fell silent. But two of them had already noticed. Lady Barncastle, who used Furuto Erika as a piece, was a terrifying opponent. This fight would probably be terrifying as well. Beato couldn't expose Gap, her friend, to this danger. Beato bluffed and said that wasn't the case, but Ronave and Gap had already figured it out. Therefore, after confirming Beato's resolve one last time and seeing that she was completely firm in her decision, they nodded in silence and accepted it. I understand. I'll leave this place to you. I'm rooting for you. Take care. Yeah. Please watch over my efforts to your heart's content. That is an absolutely fucking vicious Beatrice face. Lady Barncastle will probably start trying to expose Kinzo's absence in the closed room argument. Fights in a closed room are normally Gap's area of expertise. Queens are commanders because they're best at fighting in wide open areas. This won't be an easy fight. I'm fully aware of that. I currently serve Natsui. Watching Natsui's danger from above and letting Gap take care of it doesn't make sense to me. Understood. I wish you luck in battle. Be careful. If it becomes a complete closed room, we won't be able to come in and help you. I'll laugh at them a bit, and if things get bad, I'll just grab Kinzo and run for it. It's easy. With the door and the window, the past and the future to choose from, there are plenty of places to run to. Of course, I won't let this become a closed room. Though you won't see us, we'll be cheering you on from very close by. Yeah, Genji and Goda. Totally. Goda's big naturals once again. Sure. Gap and Ronave became a swarm of gold butterflies and disappeared, and Kinzo melted into the darkness beneath the bed. Shh. Please play the glass breaking noise. Please play the glass. Please play the glass breaking noise. And they also became a swarm of gold butterflies and melted away inside the study. After that, all figures and signs of life had disappeared from the study, and it once more regained a silence as though no one had been there from the beginning. Then Rudolph's outline slipped into view beyond the window's curtain.
Dad, if you're in there, answer.
What if somebody pushes him out the window? That would be fucking crazy.
Dad.
As he yelled, he hit the window. I don't like that this has special art, by the way. His foothold was so uncertain that just hitting the window felt life-threatening. But of course, this was Rudolph to show off. Deciding that he couldn't do anything stupid with so many people watching from below, he suppressed the fear from being so high up.
I'm going beast mode. I love Mr. Beast. I love Western media, so I must love Mr. Beast. Beatrice, we are going to Beastland in Riyadh. It was built with slave labor.
That's so fucking bad. That's crazy. Deciding that he couldn't do anything stupid with so many people watching from below. He suppressed the fear from being so high up and boldly knocked on the window. Bro, just break it the fuck down. He isn't hearing your knocks, bro. Just fucking break in. Come on, grandfather. Can't he hear? I wonder. I hope he doesn't drop the hammer. How many seconds have passed? It's been 30 seconds since he knocked on the window. So, he'll really smash it? The master will be very mad. Well, someone was kind enough to brag about how accepting that anger is her duty, so there's no need to worry. Rudolph-san, that's enough. Do it.
Sure. Damn it, Dad, you better not complain after I smash it.
He hit it several times and eventually a fist-sized hole opened up in the glass. Because of his unstable footing, it took a lot of effort. Why is Rudolph always the one who's breaking the glass? He did it in episode, I believe 3, maybe 2. No, I think it was 3 actually. That's a cool detail I think I just picked up. It's like a thing where it's like that common motif of certain characters doing certain things. Rudolph breaking glass must be a canon event. Opened the hole further, stuck his hand through and unlocked the window. Then, after a hard struggle, thank God. Okay, he made it. He's safe. After that, he flopped onto the floor, using his entire body to enjoy the relief of having the ground under him.
Dad, it's Rudolph. Answer me.
It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that Kinzo's study was a small villa that he had created inside the mansion. A study, a library, a place to sleep, and a bathroom and a washroom. It was divided into multiple rooms. That's right. With all this at your fingertips, it wouldn't be hard to spend your days in this study without leaving it all. The bed was empty, and there were marks on it that made it seem as though someone had slipped out. There was no one in sight.
This happens a lot in ninja movies. Someone finds that the bed's still warm, so the occupant couldn't have gone far.
Rudolph tried placing his hand on the bed, but he couldn't feel any heat at all. Not only was there no heat, it felt completely ice cold. And the bed wasn't the only thing that was ice cold. The air inside the room and even the presence about it, if that's the right word for it, even that felt ice cold. To Rudolph, it felt as though Kinzo had slipped out of this room a long time ago.
However, it's been well cleaned. It had signs of being lived in.
Wrinkles in the bed, the slight angle of the chair. Here and there were many marks that would doubtlessly have been cleared or fixed up if someone had come in to make the beds.
As far as I can tell off the top of my head, Dad must have slipped out of the bed several hours ago at the latest.
That would be the same general time period as the brutal murder case. Guess we can't be sure Kinzo's absence and the crime are completely unrelated. For the time being, he leaned out the window and told Kyrie and the others in the courtyard to come back up since he was going to unlock the door. Then he pushed the button on the study desk and released the door's auto-lock. There was a heavy clunking sound and Natsui and the rest dashed in immediately. Father, good morning.
Sorry, but it isn't Dad. I'm the one who opened it.
Was Kinzo-san there?
Nope. It looks like someone slipped out of the bed. Can't tell when that happened.
And Natsui Ne-san was the last person to meet him, right? At around 11 last night? I wonder if that means he slipped out of the study sometime after that and went somewhere else. That's... Well, we must consider Father's fickle nature. It wasn't all that uncommon for him to suddenly wake in the middle of the night claiming to have a revelation in a dream and walk around in the mansion. Isn't that right, Dr. Nanjo? True, this has happened before, but anyway, he's a fickle person. Right, Kumasawa-san? Lying Goda. Liar, liar, pants on fire, Goda. You're a shit liar. I bet fucking not Kumasawa does it like a pro. Oh, that's true. Perhaps he had a strange dream and slipped out of bed. That isn't uncommon at all, yes. She's so good at it. She sells me. Then where did he slip off to? Does this mean there's a good chance Father's been caught up in this crime? See? We should have checked to make sure Father was safe from the beginning, right? We can't be sure he isn't in this room. Maybe the culprit tied him up and locked him in the closet or something like that. Good point. Let's search. This is the head's precious study. You mustn't touch things without reason. Yeah, that's right. There's something I need to tell you, culprit-san. When Natsui heard this said right in front of her, her heart froze. But Erika had only just happened to be standing right in front of Natsui when she said it. She had directed her towards the room at large. She had directed her words to the room at large. She hadn't been speaking to Natsui in particular. Natsui turned her back on Erika, trying to prevent her faltering expression from being noticed. I have a photographic memory. If you try to alter the crime scene by hiding some evidence, I'll know right away. Please don't slip up here and disappoint me. Any mystery where the whodunit is solved by a culprit slip-up or misspeak is only third-rate, don't you think? I don't understand what you're saying, but try to refrain from incautious remarks. Father, are you there? Please answer me. Natsui started walking around and calling out in a loud voice, refusing to let Erika say any more. Father? Father! There was a knock. Kairi, the others who had gone down to the courtyard, had returned. So Father isn't here after all.
He might be tied up and shut away somewhere around here. We were just searching for him.
I'm surprised he managed to shut himself away in a place like this for all that time. I wonder if fucking Natsui's gonna try to hide the keys in the mansion before Burncastle finds them. Not inside the mansion, inside the study. Give it up, Nason. You can't change anything now. I wonder what Madame plans to do. Get paid back for all the lies she's told up until now. Shh. Let's leave fate in God's hands. Read the Bible, boys and girls. Yes. Many people clambered around Kinzo's vast study, looking here and there. Inside the closet and in the bathtub, even in the refrigerator and under the study desk, I looked everywhere, almost as though they were it in a game of hide and seek. However, not only were they unable to spot Kinzo, they couldn't even find a single suspicious mark. It seems clear that Father isn't here. That's enough. Please don't disturb Father's precious study any further. That's right. There's nothing the Master hates more than having things moved around without his permission. Father's nowhere to be found. Maybe he really was caught up in the crime. Then, though we can't be sure of that. Natsui averted her gaze once more. It's okay, Natsui. We truly do have our backs against the wall. On the off chance someone entered the study, I had planned to trick them by saying he'd probably gone for a walk somewhere. However...
No one would believe that I'd get dressed up for a casual midnight stroll at a mansion where a murder has occurred and many people have been killed. Though I wouldn't put it past myself to do such a thing.
Come now, Kinzo. Be a good boy and hide under the bed. It's okay, Natsui. You may remain calm. It's possible to prove that someone exists, but you can't prove that someone doesn't exist. In other words, the human world is one which, regardless of whether something exists or not, you can make it so that they exist. In that the shadows that can make such things exist are themselves the world of witches, the world of demons. You mean a devil's proof? Yes. So don't worry. The power of demons will most certainly protect you. If it could protect the honor of father and my husband, wouldn't mind sacrificing this body of mine to demons. Your resolve is good. Ooh, new Beatrice face. Don't be anxious. I most certainly will not let Kinzo be killed. At that time, a dry sound suddenly rang out twice. Erica had clapped her hands, seeking everyone's attention. Though such an action should have been above a guest's place. She's a fucking asshole. It's like they're fucking dogs. For some reason, it already felt like a natural right of hers. After all, she was the detective. I think that's enough. Ushirimiya Kinzo-san is nowhere to be found in this study.
Yeah, we searched everywhere, but he could have been hiding. Dad's nowhere to be seen.
Furthermore, we found nothing that looked suspicious. Yes, we didn't find anything at all. Erica said it again. They hadn't been able to discover anything. In that case, we mustn't loiter around this room. Do you understand how angry Father would be if he had learned that so many people were looking through his study? Ava-san, you said you were prepared to take responsibility, didn't you? Are you prepared for him to break off relations with you for the rest of your life? That is so bullshit. That's her father to decide, not you. Silence, please. I'd like to lay out the situation. At 11 o'clock last night, the last person to meet Kinzo-san in this room was Natsui-san, right? Can anyone confirm that? Confirm? Yes, that's right. After all, the only one who claims that Natsui-san really did stop by here at 11 o'clock last night is Natsui-san herself. Ooh, Ava can confirm it. There wouldn't be a problem if Kinzo-san confirmed that Natsui-san really did come here last night, but the vital witness isn't here. So you're saying alibis are the foundation of a mystery? Yes, that's right. Alibis are important. Of course, they're almost useless when it comes to the actual theory making. But it's common courtesy to poke around those boxes. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with Jessica right now. Even though you didn't ask for alibis regarding last night's murder, you are doing it for grandfather's disappearance. You really are a fickle person. Oh, don't worry. Have no fear that I will fully examine everyone's alibis. Regarding the murders of the first Twilight, later. So can anyone confirm that Natsui-san visited here at 11 o'clock? If no one can, we'll be forced to doubt whether Natsui-san really was the last person to spot him. Are you saying that I can't be trusted? No, it's actually the opposite. I hope you aren't the culprit. After all, that'd make this really boring. Only the worst third-rate mysteries have the most suspicious person as the culprit. Natsui-san is suspicious? Wait a second. How can you say that? He's right. Calling Madam suspicious is the height of discourtesy. I love the fucking random British accents I give Goda, Genji, and Nanjo. Spin the wheel. Give them an accent. Make it British. Vaguely British. Be quiet! Dr. Nanjo, Goda, thank you. Erika-san, do you have some sort of proof that justifies such a rude outburst? Yes. Though it's so simple that it annoys me. Sorry to bother you with this TV drama quality evidence, but if you don't mind, why don't you just let us hear it? When Battler glared at her, a cold expression rose to Erika's face for an instant. But it was only for an instant. After smiling peacefully and gazing around at everyone, she started to talk. She looked like the main character in a play, who had come out onto the stage, bathed in a spotlight. It's about this morning. Please remember the time after the murders occurred, during the big uproar that followed. We wanted to tell Kinzo-san about the crime, but he wouldn't come out no matter how many times we called him on the telephone. I love that fucking slap face. It's so diabolical. Remember that time? Anyway, isn't it bad that we can't get in contact with him? In the worst case, Father might not know there's even been a crime, right? Well, I wonder. Keenly noticing that people were starting to doubt Kinzo's existence, Kanon mumbled those words. Who was the last person to meet with Father? And when? It was me. Last night. Oh, wait, that I forgot. I kind of had the timeline all mixed up in my brain. This shit's hard to fucking keep. There's so many fucking details you have to keep in track of this fucking game. Sometimes remembering this shit's fucking hard. From up until the time of the uproar, when Battler found the gold, I was in Father's study, giving the daily report. It's at around 11 o'clock last night. Erika chuckled significantly. And what's your point? Ridiculous. I think Kairi-san probably did that intentionally. Am I right? Ooh, she did do it intentionally, because Kairi's a fucking bad bitch. She's the fucking goat. What do you mean by that? I hope someone might fall for it. I see. Thanks, Kairi-san. Actually, I was planning to say the same thing if you didn't. Oh my god, I got what I wanted. I got my fucking Erika glazing Kairi moment. I thought it would be cool as fuck, and I was right. Is who saw the master last really that important? Why did I read him in a British accent? Is who saw the master last really that important? She's always in fucking motion. Yes. If we take the circumstances into account, then in response to the question who met him last, it was very odd for Natsui-san to instantly answer me. Why? How would she know for certain that she saw him last? How would she know that Genji didn't visit him at night or anything? That's probably where she's going. Madam told the truth without hiding anything. Be quiet! Why do you think it was odd? Why are you so sure that no one else met with Kinzo-san after 11 o'clock? Well, that's because I watched as he went to bed. It's only natural to assume that he would then sleep until morning. Not meet anyone. Considering the circumstances, it was easy to suspect the last person to spot him having some kind of involvement with this case. And Natsui, how certain could you be of this when fucking 5 people are dead and 1 is missing? How could you not be certain that you were the last person? How could you be certain you were the last person to see Kinzo? It would be more logical that she would say something like, "Oh, I saw him at 11 o'clock." But no, it was, "Yes, I was the last person to see Kinzo." But despite that, I still don't think it's enough to suspect Natsui. I don't think, as I said before in the middle of this stream, I don't think Natsui wants to kill people. I think she just wants to protect the money. I don't think she would ever want to, like, kill the Yoshiramiya family and have that, like, Ava experience where the whole press is, like, on. I think she would hate that. It just doesn't fit to me. A normal person in Natsui-san's position would say, "I was the last person to meet him." Wouldn't say, "I met him at 11 o'clock. Right, Kairi-san?" Yes, that's correct. A normal person would say, "I met with him at 11 o'clock. However, I'm not sure I was the last person to meet him." Something like that. Good. Claiming to be the last witness is usually quite difficult. That is, unless you know something that makes you sure that there were no witnesses after you. In third-rate mysteries, the last one to spot the victim is always the culprit. Is often the culprit. I wasn't even reading that when I read that. I was just, like, oh my god. They've killed the victim themselves, so they knew that no one else could have met the culprit later on, is how the argument goes. Couldn't that be nothing more than a minor misspeak? It's not important enough to be picked up out of the blue and focused on. Yes, that's nothing more than nitpicking. Isn't it a little too early to suspect Natsui-san because of a little slip of the tongue like that? Furthermore, you said she'd need a reason to be sure no one else spotted the master. But of course, she had such a reason. She left after seeing the master go to bed. Following common sense, it's perfectly natural to assume that he probably wouldn't meet anyone else up until the morning. No, that isn't natural at all. After all, Natsui-san, Dr. Nanjo, and Kumasawa-san all made this claim a short while ago. Please try to remember. And Natsui-ne-san was the last person to meet him, right? At around 11 o'clock last night. I wonder if it meant that he slipped out of the study sometime after that and went somewhere else. Well, we must consider father's fickle nature. It wasn't all that uncommon for him to suddenly wake up in the middle of the night, claiming to have had a revelation or a dream and walk around the mansion. Isn't that right, Dr. Nanjo? True, this has happened before. I'm just reading this shit again. I'm just clicking through it because I already read this shit. I do remember that, in fact. But yeah, we definitely do have testimony that it wasn't uncommon for grandfather to suddenly slip out of bed late at night. Good. Your memory's not bad, Battler-san. In other words, it's common knowledge to those in the Ushiramiya head house, Natsui-san included, that Kinzo-san might wake up in the middle of any given night on a whim and wander around. On top of that, they're aware that this happens quite often. Isn't that odd? If you knew father often wanders around at night, there's no way you could be certain that he'd stay in his bed until the morning.
It really is like a third-rate mystery. You know, that thing they do in the last 5 minutes? The culprit asks, "When did you first realize that was me?" And the detective answers,
It's Columbo. It's some Columbo shit. I'm gonna be really sad if Columbo is not referenced in this game. And one more thing. I fucking love Columbo. I haven't even mentioned that. I fucking really like Columbo. But I've only ever seen a couple episodes, unfortunately. I want to watch more. That's why I feel let down. If it turns out Natsui-san really is the culprit, this will be worse than a TV mystery. That's why I want to clear away the suspicions surrounding Natsui-san as soon as I can. I want to make sure that this mystery isn't third-rate before I do anything else. There's no need to get anxious, Natsui. This is a classic word game used by detective wannabes. What exactly is her point? How could she possibly corner you with this accusation alone? In the court of hell, all the demon jurors will declare you innocent. The devil's advocate. So calm down and don't get flustered. It may be true that Aunt Natsui looks suspicious when you say it like that. Still, it sounds like you're just nitpicking to me. But it is suspicious. Isn't this more than enough reason to suspect that Natsui Nesan's hiding something? Of all the unfair accusations! How cowardly of you, Eva-san. You're the sole person who can confirm that I really was here at 11 o'clock, aren't you? Is this true, Eva-san? Oh, did that happen? I'm sorry. At the time, I was losing... We get a new fucking picture of her using the fan and being absolutely fucking vicious with it. I was losing my head because of all the recently discovered gold, so I forgot all about bumping into Natsui-san until just a second ago. So Eva-san, you can confirm that Natsui-san was a witness at 11 o'clock. Yes, unfortunately. I'm able to acknowledge that one part of Natsui-ne-san's story, but only that she came out of this room. What are you implying? Oh, I'll tell you. In fact, I've wanted to say this for a long time now. I do realize it's improper to bring this up in the middle of such a tragic murder case, but the timing now is just too perfect. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? Natsui-ne-san. The servants gulped and held their breaths. It's getting so fucking late. I need a good place to stop. After all, it's not even... I can stay up like another hour. I'm not up until 10 o'clock. In the middle of this heavy silence, Ava fingered her trump card. Oh, you think let's just stop? It is getting 4 hours in. I kind of do wanna... I feel like we have a lot to go to. And I'm gonna stream tomorrow anyways, so let's just take a pause, because it's 1 a.m. and I really want to retire for the evening. Okay, well, I'll probably be back tomorrow. Maybe a little later, but still, it's been fun, and I think I've kind of worked up my theory. Good night, guys.